Something different. That's exactly what this video is, but let me explain why first. Since buying my 1 Series back in January, we've done 4 months of mods now on the car, and the list I originally had is beginning to thin out a little bit. Or in other terms, I'm starting to run out of ideas, and for a channel like mine, that's not a good thing. So the ideas I have left require quite a bit of time for basically the parts to be delivered and arrive. And that is the exact issue this week. I've been waiting on these, some brand new coilovers to put onto the car. But with it now being Friday and this video going up in 2 days, I've got no time to fit them. So unfortunately, they will be fitted next week. And I've also got plans for the following week after that to just tidy up and finish off some last little bits really, like putting the rear badge back on, tidying up all of these like yellow highlighted lines on the rear bumper to just actually make it look better than what it is, try fixing the halos and changing the bulbs to white ones, amongst some other things as well. So make sure to stay around because in the next couple of weeks we have got some pretty cool content coming up. So I'm now going to pass on to me from the past couple of months. It's basically all of my videos on my BMW so far compiled into one big one. So if you haven't seen some of them, you can watch this and be caught up completely to the most recent video. But thank you guys for being here. I really do appreciate you. I'll catch you next week on Sunday where I'll install those coilovers. Have a fantastic week and I'll catch you then. Peace out. Behind me now is my new car that I've just bought, and it is a 15-year-old BMW 1 Series. But there is one issue with this car, or maybe multiple. One, there's quite a big oil leak coming out of the oil filter on the engine, and that is going to have to be addressed because I cannot have this engine blowing up on me, especially when it's the only car that I own. After weeks of hinting at what it could be as my new car, I've actually decided to settle on a 116i E87 from 2009. We've got a 4-cylinder engine pushing 122 horsepower under the bonnet, but there are a bunch of issues including an oil leak out of the oil filter and problems with the thermostat activation. But we've also got mods to do because I've got a certain road trip to Germany planned in a couple of months. Now, despite this being a 116i, it does in fact have a 2-litre engine inside of it, but I mean, it's an inline 4, it's not your 6-cylinder or anything, but a 2-litre as a second car I will absolutely take any day of the week. So why this car, you may ask? Well, I've always wanted something with 5 doors, and the Corsa before obviously had 3, and that was a pain in my backside when getting people in and out of the car. So he's only gone and done it, and he's got a 5-door. But why BMW, you may ask? They have so many issues. Well, I want to learn how to deal with cars, how to fix cars, everything like that. I've got no experience of being a mechanic. So this is going to be a new journey and I am so excited. I cannot wait to start working on this car. Especially I got a little road trip planned. At the moment we've got a reversing light out, we've got an oil pressure light that's come up, we've got an oil leak, we've got roof racks, we've got mud flaps. There's so much that needs to just be done to this car straight away that it'll be worth just, you know, starting right now. So I ain't gonna waste any more time. I'm gonna start working on these roof racks. I have no clue what I'm doing, but that's just the fun of it, right? So the roof racks I had were not factory ones, they were aftermarket ones, and at first there was just the cap either end of the bar to take off, and then after that there was a bolt that was holding the bracket onto the roof of the car. So once I'd taken this off, the roof racks were actually free to be released from the car, almost make it look bold. And if you're in the middle of watching this right now, then you're probably enjoying what you're seeing, so if you go down there and hit that subscribe button, I'd much appreciate it, because we've got a lot of plans coming up for this build. As I keep saying, a massive road trip planned, which is going to be amazing. Well then, there we go guys, it actually ended up being really easy. There was 4 caps like this, so it's basically just on either end, and then you pull it, well, you twist them, and these just came right off. They kind of sat on the end there like that, and then there was just a bolt that was just holding this in to the top of the car. Undo that bolt, pull it off, and they just fall apart, these two. Look, the whole thing's just fell apart right now, but that is the roof racks off the car. Nice. So in the year of owning my Corsa, I never once had like a light come up on the dash at all. Not a single one, like ever. And I've had this car now for like 2 weeks or so, and I'm already getting lights come up on the dash. Like, we're getting an oil pressure light when I come to a static or like a stop or something after driving. And I'm also getting this light. This light, that's what I'm getting. This light here is obviously showing that the bulb's out. And then when I hold down the button here on the end of my stalk, it's decided to disappear. Hang on, we'll do a little check on the car. Yeah, so when I hold down the button on the stalk for a couple of seconds, I get a reading of saying CCID 117, which when I search that up on the internet, I get this. So it's obviously correlating to my left rear light, or this one here, which is actually quite easy to access. So getting into the boot, there's this little panel here, which you can just pop off like so. And then there's a clip there on the top, and then there should be a second clip somewhere else. Or it might just be that one anyway. And then you can basically just pull the whole light assembly out. I'm not sure if there's a second clip or not, but this allows you to pull this light assembly out. You gotta be careful because obviously you're dealing with a couple of bulbs, but you can get in there and then you can remove the light. So I'm just gonna quickly grab, well, I'm gonna take this out now, and we'll have a look at what we can do with after that. So I've actually managed to get to the back of the light after so much fiddling. This was so difficult to get out because of just the weird shape of it and how little room you have. It's so strange to maneuver out. But I've gone and got this new, it's a 16W16 light from Whole Foods. This here cost me like £1.50, and it goes into for that one there. And all you do for this one is you just pull it out or wiggle it out, doing it one-handed like that. And then this one just basically slots back up inside of the hole, like, as long as we've got it lined up right. But it basically, one pops out and then one just slides back in. Hopefully that'll fix our issue on the dash, fingers crossed. So before I put this light console in, I'm gonna go and actually try it on the dash first to make sure that we don't have any issues at all and the light is completely okay. So we hit the start button to turn on the ignition. I'll shut my door and that will disappear. It looks like we haven't got a light on the dash. Once that disappears, oh, we might be okay. Check okay, perfect. That's absolutely fine. The light is working fine. Get in, right, that is one thing sorted. Next up is the issue in the engine bay with what is possibly an oil leak. Now my car's got a 2 litre M43, which is just an inline 4 engine, and this here is my oil filter. And as I was saying, I think there's an oil leak down here on the inside of, well, the outside of my engine. It looks like it's kind of just leaking from the oil filter, almost like down here or so, somewhere. And then kind of trickling down the side of my engine. As you can see, all those wet patches down there. I took this to BMW and they came with the answer of, I need a new gasket apparently. And there's a couple of bolts, one there, and then there's these two down here, and apparently I can just take it off and take it away from the side of the engine block. And then there's a new gasket which basically sits between the oil filter and the engine, and that should stop hopefully this oil leak that I'm getting down there. Fingers crossed, but that's just what BMW said. So I ended up taking my car down to BMW like I said, and I got them to have a look over it, and they ended up quoting me on not one but 2 gaskets, and these are the ones they quoted me on. So as you can see, they ended up quoting me £9 1p each for that gasket and that gasket, and it's gonna fly away. But these gaskets were the ones that sit between the oil filter and the engine block in the engine bay, and then the heat exchange and the oil filter. Now I'm slightly on the fence with getting these gaskets because I'm not actually sure if they are the issue with what's going on with the oil leak, but there's absolutely no harm in just buying them and giving them a go and see if that fixes the problem. But there is definitely one thing I was not on the fence with when I was buying, and that is these. Now in this box are some brand new smoked out indicators to replace these horrible, like, clear looking ones that have also gone yellow. I'm hoping that these smoked ones will just help with the blackness, the smoothness of the car basically, because I've got a black car, some black indicators will definitely be very nice. Now I haven't even opened these yet, so this is going to be my raw reaction to even opening them. So let's get this quality control sticker off. Like so. we'll put you on the bonnet. And then, oh God, how does this open up? Is it one that goes like that? Yeah, there we go. Here we go, we open up. That's a fancy looking box, isn't it? This is a company, by the way, called Tectico. I found these and they looked really good online, so I'm hoping that they're really good in person too. Let's take that out. And here is one of them. Wrapped up in this. Oh yeah. They are looking awesome. Now before I get to installing these, I'm just going to show you guys a quick before of what the car looks like with the white indicators before I actually put on the new ones, which are the black ones. Now, in terms of installation with these, I have absolutely no clue as to what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna, well, I think I'm gonna go look on YouTube first and see if I can find a video of anyone doing it, because I don't know what I'm doing. But here's a quick sneak peek of what it will look like before. Just imagine that. That is gonna look so much better. These look absolutely mint. They're new LED ones as well. I think they're sequential. So, boys, I'm so excited. Let's go. Right, quick massive thanks to Justin Boost with over 300,000 subscribers, because he's just allowed me to, well, he's just showed me how to take one of these off. So we're gonna give this a go right now. Oh, wish me luck, boys. So removing the indicator actually ended up being really easy. I just needed a trim removal tool, and to remove it, I just needed to push it forward towards the front of the car and then put it away to release a spring. Well, that was a little bit more difficult than I thought, but it wasn't too hard to get these off. Now, that is the indicator popped out, but I'm not sure how I'm going to change it over to this. It does come with a little wiring kit. By the looks of it, this somehow has got to plug into something, and then these little wires here, I'm going to guess are plugging into something. I'm not too sure, but we're going to give it a go, and well, it looks like that plugs into there actually. So we'll figure it out. So I ended up pulling the indicator away from the car by unplugging the electrical cable holding it in. Right, after a bunch of faffing around, that was way harder than I expected it to be. I haven't actually put the indicator in just yet, but I'm going to try it out first. Hopefully it works. Oh my god, it's working! No way! It's working! I literally just changed the plug around the other way and it's working. Oh my god, yes! So putting the new indicators in were as easy as taking the old ones out. It's just putting the clip in and then pushing the spring back in on the other side. Well, there we go. That is the brand new indicator on that side. Let's have a look. Oh, you do. No. Now that is right, guys. The brand new indicators that I bought to replace the old ones, in fact, stopped working after I put them back in. Now, I'm not entirely sure why, so if you guys know, if you can leave it in the comments, I'd greatly appreciate that. But for now, I've sent these ones back and I've brought some new ones. Hopefully they'll be delivered soon and I can fit these onto the car. So then guys, here she is then, my BMW 116i. Obviously, if you haven't watched the first video, as I just mentioned, links in the top right to go and watch it. But, as the video's titled, this car has multiple issues. Now, as I keep saying, obviously my car has got issues. I can't really touch it right now because I just drove out to this really nice location with a castle on the hill over there, Ed Sheeran there. So engine's really hot. But we have definitely got issues, including obviously that oil leak that I showed in the last video down there. But I'm also not getting washer fluid come up when I hold the stalk back on the steering wheel. And I think that is something to do with possibly the lines that run up through into the bonnet. So up here, I'm not sure if they're blocked. Obviously that's like a T-junction one over there. I don't know if you can see down there, but my washer fluid is definitely topped up. So I have got washer fluid in the car, and as you can hear when I actually pull the stalk back, the motor's running. So I'm not sure if it's definitely got to be a blockage somewhere, or it's a faulty motor. I'm not entirely sure just yet, but we'll definitely figure out in a future video. Whoa. So I actually lost this little bit of footage here, but basically all I was saying was, basically here are the mods that I've done on the car so far. There isn't very many, but here are the ones I have done. So that would include changing my indicators. Like I said in the last video, I have bought some brand new ones. I installed them, they are working. Yeah, they are working as you can see. But there is an issue, they're going the other direction. They're meant to be going from left to right, but they're going from right to left. I don't care, it's my car, it's my choice. They look great. But let me quickly just jump to when I actually installed these. Thank you, me from the future. So, right then, let's get these indicators changed. Hey, there we go, we've got some working indicators. These are actually working this time. Well, I hope anyway. Let's clip it back in and we'll give it one more try. Perfect, there we go. That is just what we were looking for. Let's do the other side. And there we go, one quick and easy mod that took probably about, I don't know, 5 minutes or so. And it's really transformed how the car now looks, so that is perfect. Back to me, wherever I am. Now, some things that are definitely going to be done is all the mud flaps on the car. I need to actually, well, I want to take them off, but the issue is most of the bolts are they're rusted onto the car, and I actually can't figure out what head it is because they're so rusted that it is literally impossible. So I'm gonna have to get an angle grinder out and cut them off, and that will be later on in this video, just not yet. So before we actually go on and get back home, some of you may be asking, what is actually the plan for this car? Now, I actually don't know myself at the moment, but I'm definitely looking at getting some black grills, maybe even try and de-chrome the grills myself, because I'm not actually a fan of how the chrome looks. I also want to get a new bumper on the car, but that's just a couple of things out of many that I have planned, but will I be able to afford them? I don't know, guys. But anyway, let's get back to my house. Let's cut these mud guards off, or mud flaps off, whatever you want to call them, and then we'll go from there. Whoa, hold on. Before we go, actually, I forgot. I also want to take off the tow hook bar thing on the back of the car, because I don't need it and it doesn't need to be there. Also, one more thing that I almost forgot. I want to take the badge off, because then no one will know I'm driving a 169. Other than obviously all you guys watching this right now.
Show me love, 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 show me love. I'm not asking you for much, just give me something to feel. Show me love, show me love, show me love. Call me up.
Good morning, guys, it's a brand new day. We ran out of time last time, but it's a new day, as we already know. The indicators have been changed. We've also got the mud flaps to take off, which is like, it's just probably a couple of bolts. But I think on the rear though, they're quite rusted, so we're gonna have to get the angle grinder out on that. I actually can't see where they are, they're like back there somewhere, right behind the wheel. So we're gonna have to get the angle grinder out for that. Also gonna try and take that tow bar off. But let's crack on with getting the front mud guards off, because they look like they're gonna be quite an easy job. So yeah, let's just go.
Show me love, show me love, show me love, show me love, show me love. I'm not asking you for much, just give me something to feel. Show me love, show me love, show me love.
So guys, you've actually fell into some sort of problem here. This top bolt, I actually have no clue what it is. I think it's made out of like rubber or something. If you've ever seen that before, let me know in the comments below, because I've never seen like a rubber bolt or screw or something. But it is really weird. I have got an angle grinder. I'm going to see if I can just, you know, just cut that right off. But That's just really odd, I've never seen that before. So we've got issue with this bolt. It seems to be extremely rounded off, and I don't even know if it's made of rubber or not, but my dad's came in clutch with a damaged screw and bolt removal tool. So we've chucked this into our drill and we're just going to try and get this out now. Fingers crossed this works, we'll see. Well, that worked. Realised this was actually a rivet in the end, so yeah, I don't think this is going back in the car now, but that's okay. Mud flap mostly off. Just got that one more bolt to remove and this will be done. Fingers crossed.
Break my heart if
Oh, well, just like that, it came off nice and easily. Well, since we managed to do the other side quite easily, I say we crack on with this side. We'll see if it's as easy. I don't reckon it will be, you know. That's how things go, but let's crack on.
let me tell you what I'm feeling. I promise that I love you and never let you go. When you're feeling down, I'll always hold you close. Won't keep any secrets.
So after a little bit of help from my dad, we've managed to get this side off as well. So time to crack on with the rear. Then once that's done, now we all the mud flaps off, and then we can work on getting the tow bar off the back. So yeah, then let's go.
I'll be yours forever. Yeah, yeah, forever. Yeah. Oh, yeah. One bedroom apartment, spending every night with you. That's all I want, babe. Oh, yeah. And if I ever make a mistake, I promise you that I'll change. I'd do anything for you. I promise that I love you and never let you go. When you're feeling down, I'll always hold you close. Won't keep any secrets. Won't play with your heart. Yeah.
Well guys, there we go. That is all 4 mud flaps off the car. Wonderful. Let's get this tow bar off now and then we'll give the car a clean and we'll probably wrap the video up there. Lovely. Before we even take the tow bar off, the car is looking so much better already with no roof racks, with no mud guards, anything. The car's looking so much better. I mean, just look at it now. Oh, it just flows so much nicer. So yeah, let's go crack on getting this off. Looks like it's just going to be that one there, and oh, there's some more this side somewhere as well. There they are. This looks to be just those, which should then hopefully just take that straight off. Give the car a clean, try to get rid of some like this mud residue that's left. That'll be probably all we can do for this video. Nice. So what I'm doing guys is I've got 2 spanners like this. One's going on one side, one's going on the other. And then we're just putting one up like this. I believe it or not, this is on really tightly. It will be for a reason. So yeah. Oh yeah, that's how we're going about it. There we go. And we've got it off. Oh, that is heavy, heavy work, guys.
Go that far, 'cause I know better than that.
So my next issue is find out where this cable goes to. But as it looks like obviously it's an electrical port here, and if you're towing something, it's gonna need to have like a brake light on it. You can almost imagine that runs up into the battery. So we're gonna have a look in the boot, check out the battery, see what's going on, hopefully disconnect this cable, and then that'll be this taken off then. Brilliant.
What love is and why it's beautiful. Just put your body on top of mine, yeah.
Okay, so for now I'm just gonna have to put the tow bar back onto the car because to get the electrical bracket off, there's 2 bolts which need to be undone, which are very, very tough to undo. So I'm just going to chuck it back on the car for now and leave it as it is, which is kind of unfortunate because I was hoping to get it off. It kind of looks smoother, but oh well, it is what it is. Let's get it back on the car and let's get this car cleaned. Right then, I might have started cleaning it already, but yeah, let's get this thing clean because it is very dusty and I'm excited to see what it looks like nice and clean basically. Yeah, let's go.
Treat you right, pull you closer through the highs and lows. Yeah, I wanna show you how to treat you right, treat you right. Treat you right, treat you right. Treat you right, treat you right. Yeah, I would never ever let you go.
So if you're new around here, this is my BMW E87 169 from 2009. Now I greatly appreciate if you could go down there and hit that subscribe button if you are new, but here's a real quick recap of the things that we've done so far to the car. So I picked this car up about a month and a half ago now or so for around about £2,000. I then revealed it to you guys and gave you some sort of an idea of what I was thinking of doing with the car in the future. We then cracked on with removing the roof racks, mud guards, changing the indicators, and I even gave a go at removing this tow bar, but failed miserably, you could say. But all of that TLC is definitely going to end today because we've got a couple of mods that are really going to stealth, you could say, the car out, which I am so looking forward to. So let's get back to my house and let's get cracking on installing these because this is going to look so good by the time we're done. So if we're going for a stealth look with the car, there's one thing that really kills it, which is chrome. And I can tell you now, this car has got a lot of it. We've got chrome there, in there, down there, on all four wheels, here for the badge, and lastly, for all I can find for the moment, is around the emblem. So if I want to change this, there's either two things. With the grills, which we're going to do now, because I've got some new ones, we can either wrap them, or like I just said, I bought some new ones which are going to install right now, like I also said. Let's go. So the easiest way that I've seen to remove the grills is to get a trim removal tool, almost down behind here, and just release the clips by almost prying it forward. So we're going to give that a go, fingers crossed it works, and then the new one should just clip into place. Well guys, that was really difficult just to be able to get this off, but we've got the old grill off now. The car looks rather weird, you know, without a grill in place, but we're now going to replace this with the new one. So let's go get it, let's clip it in, let's give it a good old look at what the new one looks like. So we're on with the new grille now and it is looking so much nicer than the old one. Only problem is I think I snapped a few clips, so it's a bit loose. That's fine because we will be getting a new bumper at some point because the old owner seemed to have maybe crashed it or scratched it or something. And plus it's not a very nice looking bumper. So that is what the car's looking like right now. It's pretty mint if you do ask me. Let's get the other one in, hopefully we don't snap any clips this time. So we just finished installing those grills and they look so good, guys. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Right then, here they are. That's what they look like. I am so happy with this install. I mean, it looks so much better than what it did before. Admittedly, yeah, it's not perfect, but I mean, I don't expect them to fall out, hopefully not anyway, but they look so good. I am so happy with that, and the car is now starting to look so much better, being that a lot of the chromey white stuff's going, it's all turning black. Just look at it now, how all the black's starting to flow ever so slightly compared to what it looked like when we picked it up. It is looking so much better now. The new indicators and the new grille, the car is looking so good. Anyway, we've got more mods today, so let's get on to the second one. So secondly today is actually a little cup holder that I would like to install into my car because this car annoyingly has got 0 of them. And my girlfriend especially is not a fan of that. I've gone and bought this little piece here that clips into the center console, or not clips in, it sticks onto it, and then you can just drop some cup holders in. We'll stick this on, we'll give it a go. Fingers crossed it works, but yeah, it looks like it can hold cups. This install seems like it's gonna be really, really easy. I'm just gonna peel off the little red bits on the back of the tape, and we're just gonna kind of line it up, stick it down. It should look something like this, I'm guessing. I don't know. We'll get it on, and then we'll get it adjusted, and yeah. Right, so the tape's off. Now let's just get this somewhat lined up. Yeah, about there, I reckon. And then let's push this down into place. Fingers crossed this ends up looking alright. I really hope it does. Oh, that feels like it's really on there. That's rigid, that. I mean, to be fair, that looks pretty good. I have no cups to try it with, so we'll go out in a little bit and we'll grab like a Mackey's or something and we'll try that out. But I tell you what, for like a tenner, that's not too bad. That's really nicely on there. So that is this now installed. It's looking awesome. I'm really happy with that actually. Let's crack on with the next thing. Alright then, moving on to something more, a little bit more interesting on the outside of the car this time as well. The badge. In the last video we said we were going to remove it. We're going to do that right now. Okay, so the main thing we're actually going to need to get this off, because adhesively bonded, is heat. So we've got a heat gun, we're going to put it on low heat, we're going to keep it moving so I don't burn the paint off, and then we're going to try and pry these off one at a time with my little trim removal tool. Let's go.
Do you ever pick up on that phone? Stop pretending I don't know you're home. I guess not. Do you ever respond? Explain it all again. Tell me why you don't want.
Well, I haven't done a perfect job, because obviously there's still some adhesive needs to come off, which I can just clean up off camera, and I will do. But we've got the badge off, and I mean, it just looks pretty cool now without a badge. I quite like how that looks. Let's give you a little run around and show you what the car now looks like. We obviously have the new grills, new indicators, no badge. Let's go. So then the car is looking, well, not exactly 1010 just yet, but it's getting there. She's so dirty already. I literally cleaned her the other day. Birds are just choosing my car right now. They absolutely are loving it. I mean, it looks better without a badge, but obviously we need to get rid of that because the adhesive doesn't look very nice. There's some adhesive left as well from where the mud flaps were. It seems that they were glued on, which was a bit weird. But the car's looking so nice right now. Just needs a clean, really. So we're on our way to Mackey's right now, actually. So let me know what your typical McDonald's order is down in the comments below. I'm interested to hear it. That was probably the best launch I've had in this car.
Hi, can I take one, please?
Yeah, I've got a app order of WX52.
Yeah, so we'll go for this one after that.
Lovely, thank you.
Yeah.
Food ordered. Well, not really, did it on the app, but you know. Play a little bit of Pokemon Go whilst we wait, shall we? Oh yeah, you just got me a new Pokemon, a Primplup is what it's called. Hiya. Thank you. Thank you. Well then, this is the real test of can the cup holders actually hold? I don't know, we'll find out. So the cup is definitely in the holder. Is it holding it very well? Oh, I can't tell you that for a fact, but it's definitely in there. We'll park up here. Perfect. Right then. How well is this cup holder actually working as a cup holder? So all in all, it's not exactly too bad. I mean, there's definitely better options out there, but it holds the cup in there. I mean, I'm stationary from driving, that might come out. The back one doesn't really fit, something smaller would have to go in there. But it holds, I guess. It's not perfect, but it does the job. Say we're here at BMW, but not for the reasons you may be thinking. So I'm actually here for these. Now I just want to say a really big thank you to all the guys at BMW for sorting me out with these gaskets. I really appreciate it. But let's get home because we've got to install these and some other things to actually fix the car. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do today actually, before we get on to those gaskets, is I want to install some new, what are they called, windscreen wipers, that's the ones. Because the ones I got right now are really old and they're like, when they go over the windscreen. So yeah, let's change them some new ones. So changing the windscreen wipers on my car is actually really easy. First you want to just lift them up carefully. We'll pull out my phone quickly and I'll show you how to do it. So my windscreen wipers have got a really quick, like an easy release. So there's like a push tab there and there's one on the bottom side just there, which if you push both at the same time and then push up, the whole wiper basically just comes straight off. Really easy. And then the new one is basically the exact same, just I think you clip it on to the top like that and then down and clip it back in. So it's really quick, really easy to change, literally just like that. It takes about a minute, so let's just crack on and get these done. So the wipers I went for were some Bosch Aero Twin A208 S1s. I got these from Whole Foods for about 20 odd pound and they was charging £7 to fit these. Why would I want to do that? It took like a minute to do. Oh, hello. But seriously, if you guys go to like Whole Foods or something for these and they're going to charge to fit them, tell them no. It takes literally like a minute to do. You just see me do that. It's a really straightforward thing to do. So yeah, if you're going to get some new windscreen wipers, install them yourself. It's the easiest thing you can do probably. And here's a test to see if they've actually changed anything. Oh, they're completely silent. Oh, I love that. That is amazing. They come right up to the top of the windscreen as well. Perfect. Oh yeah, that's really good. I like that. Very happy with that. Right, next thing. Okay, so next up, we're at the back of the car again. Still got to finish taking this badge off. We're not fully there yet, but we're not changing anything. We're not fixing anything. We're actually going to add to the car this time. And we've got a small sticker to do so let's get on. So this is what the sticker is. It's my app for YouTube. I did order one. I was going to say YouTube to go like here somewhere, but the company forgot to deliver it. We'll get that and put it on next week. But here's the moment of truth then. Is this going to stick to the window or no? Fingers crossed it does. So we've scraped it down with a card. Hopefully, when we peel this back now, peel it back slowly. Oh, yes. Oh guys, that looks sick. I am so happy with that. I mean, it's not perfect. We've got a couple bubbles in the tea, which we might be able to scrape out, but oh man, that looks sick. Let me put that back down. Oh yeah. Oh guys, that looks awesome. I am so happy with that. If only we looked at YouTube here, because you know we've got to at least brand myself to pretty much anyone on the road, because there's so many people on the road that, you know, this is like perfect branding for me because everyone's going to see this now. But that is so sick. I love that. That is awesome. I'm so happy with that. You might think it's cringy or corny or whatever, but I absolutely love this. Next one, we just got to get rid of this, but we haven't got time for that this week. Maybe we'll do that next week because it's not illegal, you know, so we can get rid of this. We'll think, I'll look into that for next week. Okay then, time to start on some serious work. So if you're someone who's been following the channel now for a couple of weeks, you'll know that we have got an oil leak coming from our oil filter just here along the side of the engine. Now I believe that this leak is caused by the gaskets that I picked up earlier, which sit between the engine block down here and obviously the oil filter and the heat exchanger and the oil filter just here. So I'm going to crack on at trying to replace these. It looks like it's just going to be a 10mm socket there, and then there's 2 more just down there. I'm not quite sure about the heat exchanger, but I can definitely do these. Well, hopefully I can do them. But yeah, that's what we're going to give a go at now. I reckon it'll be quite a difficult job. I've never really done anything like this before. Just don't forget, I'm not a mechanic, so this is going to be my first time ever trying this. But we're going to give it a go anyway for science, no, for you guys. But yeah, let's crack on with this now, because I'd love to get this done and feel some sense of accomplishment, because I don't know, it just feels good, right? Okay, so we're gonna need some, I think, WD-40 or so to just spray on these bolts, because the back ones look rusted and covered in oil, which is not great, because obviously we don't want any oil on this surface when putting it back on. So let's just check it. Is it 10? Yeah, they are definitely 10mm sockets. So I'm gonna take this first one off here, because this one is not covered in oil. So hopefully this one should be okay to take off, I say. We'll see though. Okay, it's got a washer on it. I've got to be very careful of that. I do not want to lose a washer. There, okay, first one off. Now the back 2, obviously, the more difficult ones that are covered in oil. Well, seems like we don't need to use WD-40. I don't know why I didn't just use some anyway. That's a ballsy move by me. But this is coming off just fine, which is exactly what we need. Once again, has a washer on it. Right, that's the last one loosened up. Also has a washer on it, so we're going to try not to drop and lose this one as well. There we go. Oh no! How do I do that? I heard it drop onto something. I think it's only on my under tray, hopefully. Oh no. So despite that happening, dropping the bolt into the engine, I heard it land on the under tray luckily. I don't have a jack though. I messaged one of my mates, hopefully he can come and help, because this is really not good. Considering I've just literally lost that bolt, and it's a very important bolt. So I'm gonna hopefully he comes around with the jack and we can lift the car up, take down the tray off, get the bolt back. But we're gonna continue trying to take this off and change the gasket. So let's go. So the next thing we're gonna do is make sure to keep the surfaces clean, because when installing obviously new gasket or whatever, you don't want to get dirt all over it, I think. Otherwise you'll just help it to leak even more again. So yeah, we're going to give this a good old clean. You can tell how dirty it is from obviously like where all the oil is leaked. It's disgusting. Look at that, horrible. But yeah, we're going to carry on just giving this a big clean right now, and then we'll install the new gasket and then bolt 2 of the screws back down, because obviously we're missing 1. Oh, I can't believe I did that. GoPro's about to die and the rain has come out, so I reckon we'll leave it there until it stops raining, or till tomorrow. It depends what happens with the weather, of course, but tomorrow's maybe looking like a really good day, so we might come back at it tomorrow or later. It doesn't really matter, because we'll be coming back to it right now for you guys. Let's go. Well guys, it is in fact now the next day. Massive shout out to my friend Ollie for coming around yesterday. We ended up taking the under tray off, getting the car in the air, finding the bolt. We finished changing the gasket now, we've tried it out, there is absolutely no leaks now. Hopefully that's fixed our issue, but I mean we've also got the heat exchange gasket if we need it, but I mean time will tell. Okay, the last week, it has been turbulent to say the least with my car. We've had so many issues, we've had a handful at least. Like the other night this happened. Oh, this is not good, this is not good, this is not good. Guys, does anyone know what this warning light means? Oh, I'm so silly. I found out what the sensor is. It is literally just tyre pressure, nothing to worry about. And it scared the life out of me, but thankfully it was only just tyre pressures. But that's not the end of our issues, I can tell you that now. We've also had another oil leak. This time it's not from the oil filter housing. That seems to have actually fixed our issue with that. This time we've got it on the exhaust manifold side of the engine, which is really, really not good because that's obviously where all the hot air goes, which will burn off oil, could catch fire. We'll see. But obviously this is not good news and I do not know what is causing this. I'm not entirely sure what's down that side of the engine other than just obviously the exhaust. We need to have a proper look later in the video to see if we can figure anything out, but I really need your guys' help on this one because I have no clue what's causing this. But anyway, we've got more to crack on with today other than just moaning about another engine issue. Like for one, the other sticker to go on the back of the car is here. So if you see my last video, you guys already know we installed this sticker right here, which is obviously my YouTube branding, and the company I got it from forgot to send out my other sticker, which was to say YouTube here. Now they've actually sent out they've sent out the sticker and another one for free because they forgot to send that one out. We've got both of them here. Hopefully they're in the same font because you have multiple fonts to choose from. I'm hoping it's the same one. Let's get it on, shall we, even though we're out here. On the road mods, that's what we're doing right now. Also, if I look overexposed right now, it's because the sunlight is right on me, it's behind you guys. I know I can change the angle, but I am looking at getting a new camera in the future instead of a GoPro, so hopefully I won't look as exposed in the future. You guys have got to bear with me. Things are steadily getting better, but I mean, it's expensive to get good equipment nowadays, so you guys have to bear with me for a little bit. We are improving, content's getting better, just bear with me guys please. Right, and you guys should have a gist by now, it's the same as last time. Make sure to wipe down the surface to keep it clean. So once the surface is clean, that is disgusting, man. I don't know if you can see that, but it's all just brown. That's my window, man. We need to get the car clean again. We will. Once clean, you can just get a rag or something to just kind of dry it all off with. Making sure to try and just keep the surface as clean as possible. It's almost like putting a screen protector on like a phone, except to put onto the rear window of my car. Now it's time to choose the right sticker. I'm not actually sure which one is the right one because they've sent out two different fonts. I want to say this one. I'm gonna hope it is. No, we'll stick this one on. We can always take it off and put the other one on if that's the correct one. But the next thing is get your sticker lined up pretty much where you want it. I've actually forgot to bring a card with me. Fantastic. So despite forgetting to bring a card, thankfully my finger did do the job on getting the sticker on the window. Alright, I believe that is now firmly on. I hope. I'm not a genius at this. But the next thing is to peel off, obviously, the paper that's on top of it, and it should stick to the windscreen. We'll see. On the rear window. Okay, I should have maybe put it a small bit closer, but at least everyone knows what my YouTube is now. I should just get like Instagram and TikTok and kind of just Alright. I love that. That looks so good. I'm so happy with how this now looks. I mean, there is quite a big gap. It doesn't look fantastic, that gap. But maybe I got my TikTok and my YouTube, maybe, you know, my Instagram and my Facebook, and just made it look kind of like that. I think it would look okay. And then this side, well, I kind of feel bad for this bit of the window because it's not really going to get anything unless we get like some random car orientated stickers maybe, or something like that, something cool to go there. I don't know. I reckon we fill up this rear window, you know. I reckon we just fill this up with just stickers upon stickers and make it look sick over time. I've read so many comments of you guys saying I need to get rid of this. I appreciate every single one of them. And I know in last week's video I said that I will be doing that this week. Unfortunately, I'm having to wait for it to come off eBay, and it will be in next week's video. That is a promise. It is coming next week. We'll be getting rid of the rear wiper, smoothing out the edge or smoothing out the back, as a lot of you have also said, and then I won't be ruining my stickers because I won't have a wiper to do it with. So like I said, we're waiting on that bung to come. It's fine, it will be coming in the week. Same with the window tints, which is so annoying. It's not coming till like the weekend, but at the weekend that's when I'm like putting the video out, finishing editing and everything. I'm not recording at weekends, so the window tint's gonna have to wait till next week. The mods that I wanted to do are all gonna have to wait till next week. Unfortunately, that is the only thing we're gonna be doing mod wise this week, because like I said, we've had so many issues the last couple of days that I kind of want to do like a little maintenance-y type video and show you guys how to get rid of fault codes that appear and how to check your BMW's like status, see if it has got any faults. So we're going to do all of that today, so stick around. Hopefully you guys will learn a little bit, or a lot, depending on how much you know, about how to basically just maintenance-y check a car other than servicing it. So let's crack on with the very first thing, how to check tyres. Alright then, so checking tyre pressures is generally really straightforward actually. As long as you've got one of these, which is like an air pressure checker, filler, upper, finger, dinger, yep, one of them, then you'll be able to do this. And as long as you've got a car or something you can connect it to, you'll be okay. Right then, so as this air pressure filler upper thinger-dinger thing, what did I just say, is it's got one of these which goes in a car, if you didn't know already. Ignore man's stash. If you get one of the cigarette ports, I think that's what they're called, you pull out the thing, if there is one in there, and you slot this bad boy right in, bash. That will power it, but obviously the car needs power, so let's quickly give the car some power. Okay, we've got, I don't know if I have to turn the car on. I might have to. One sec. Yep, the engine needs to be on. Me, that scared my life. Jesus Christ. Off. Quiet you. There. So, that is tyre pressure warning. It scared the life out of me the other day. I thought my car was gonna blow up. Just tyre pressure warning. So checking tyre pressure, really easy. You take the little dust cap off, that is what they're called. I know that from my youth days. Find your bit that goes on, push it on. It will leak air at first, but that's because it's not sealed fully. Once it's fully sealed, you'll be fine. It's not gonna leak loads, the tyres are gonna go flat, it won't do that, it will just go tss, and then it'll be all right. Ready? Listen. You hear that? That's it, just leaking a slight bit of air. So we are at 25 psi, 25.5 psi, or 1.7 bar. Now, I think I'm meant to be at about 30 to 35 psi, I believe. We're gonna search it up and we'll come back. Yeah, so I just read online that my tyre pressure should be at about 32 psi. So what I'm gonna do is literally just flick this on, get out to 32 psi and take it out and put the dust cap back on and we'll be all done. And there, that is 32 psi. So we're gonna very quickly take that off. Just like so. Dust cap straight back on the top. And that, if you didn't know, is how you fill up a tyre with air. I'm gonna do that to number 3, and then we're gonna try and cancel off that fault code on the dash. Let's go. Well, my driver's side was absolutely fine. If anything, it was a bit worrying. It was at 40 psi. That's very, very high. We'll leave that for now. And there we go. That is all 4 tyres checked and filled up accordingly. So let's get that fault code gone. So On the left stick, you've got 2 buttons. You've got BC one, and you've got kind of this like lifted up one. And the one, if you just move it up once, twice, and then a third time, it says reset. If I press that in, I think maybe press and hold. Reset, it has now been reset. Press again, and it's gone. That will only come back up now if there is any issues with my tyres, or any certain amount of miles possibly. But I mean, it's now reset. It's not going to come up again, hopefully for a while, fingers crossed. But that is how you do it, really, really straightforward. Now let's get back home as we've got more things to crack on today with, so let's go. So if you watch the video just here, where I was actually stealthing out my car, well, I say stealthing out, obviously I just changed the grills and everything. You'll know that obviously I took off the badge here at the back. As you can see, there's some of the adhesive left, which is not the nicest, because you can still see the badge, and obviously it just does not look very good from behind. So we're going to give this a go, and hopefully it cleans up nicely, and then we'll have a smoother looking back of the car with absolutely no badge then, and nothing left of the badge. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do to take off the badge is just give a quick clean around the area. So to take this badge off, I've actually gone to Whole Foods and I've picked up some of this, which is as you can see, a tar and glue remover. So this is also for removing adhesive on cars. It won't do anything to the paint, it'll literally just take the adhesive off and leave hopefully nothing behind. So I've already sprayed a bit of a layer on top of this and just leave it for a couple of minutes, and it should hopefully eat away at the adhesive that is there. Sorry if the lighting's gone quite bad as well. My light that I use has just unfortunately died, which is rather frustrating. But hopefully this will come off in just one lovely swipe. Under light, it is working away at obviously the surface. So I'm going to give this a wipe. Fingers crossed. Either I didn't leave it for long enough, or this is just one big scam. As that has not taken it off, as there is still adhesive and bits on the back of my car. Fantastic. So to try and fix this, I'm going to actually spray some more on. And then I'm just going to hold this under here so it doesn't leak down into my boot. And hopefully if I leave this again, maybe this will work, we'll see. So with the light on and looking at it quite close up, I can actually see that it is bubbling on where obviously the sticker's adhesive used to be, which is actually really interesting because on the can it says it dissolves it, and that's obviously what is going on. And our timer, it's just gone off. Lovely. So that is a 3-minute timer. We actually allowed it for a couple of minutes this time. Now we're going to try to wipe it off. It's taking a little bit more off again. It's not taking it all off. This is getting a little bit frustrating because I don't want this on here anymore. I want it to just be gone. This is T-Cut here. It's basically just like a very fine polishing type thing, and put a bit on polishing cloth. Not much, you really don't need much when using T-Cut. The easiest way to do it, I find, is get your polishing cloth, get your T-Cut, and just basically go like that. That is enough. And then when applying it, basically just put it on, keep it moving in a circle. Okay, well, that has not worked. Oh, this is getting really, really annoying. I could give you guys help on this one. I mean, it is now like a mirror. Look at that, that's lovely. But I really need you guys' help. How can I get rid of this? Because it's aggravating me now. I don't quite know how to get rid of it. So I need you guys' help down in the comments below, if possible. So when polishing your car, you always want to put some wax on afterwards to give it kind of like a coating so that it basically stays polished for a little bit longer. It just gives it a bit of a shield basically. Once again, you don't need much of this either. The one thing to always make sure of wax is whenever you're waxing a car, you want to rub it all in until it's all gone, or otherwise you'll have wax residue left over, which is not something very nice. So that obviously didn't work. But my boot's now gonna look very strange because we're gonna have one side is quite dirty and then you're gonna have this lovely bit here that's really nice and shiny because it's just been polished. But like I said, I really need you guys' help with this. Let me know in the comments below on how I can take that off the car basically. Anyway, let's go check the fluids next. So some other things that we're also gonna wanna check on the car is all of our like fluids. So pop in the bonnet, we're gonna check our hydraulic brake fluids, coolant and other things like that. So checking this is rather straightforward. First of all, we have washer fluid. Lifting up there, I can see there's definitely water down there, but at the moment our washer bottle is still not working, it's not pumping any water through. So we will have to attack that another time. So I do believe this is coolant. I can't open it up, which is a little annoying because my engine is it's the smallest bit warm, but coolant is in there. A way of checking it is, it looks like there's a stick you can put inside of it when open. That will tell you if there's enough in there. So that is my coolant. Now oil, I can't actually check on my car, but I can check to see if it's milky at all. No, that is a perfect looking oil cap. And then obviously the chain in there. But that I have to do through a dash when the engine's warm enough. But like I was saying at the start of the video, we've got another oil leak. Now if you can kind of see down here, let's give it a bit of light, you can kind of see that rod. I'm not quite sure what that rod does. It's covered in oil. And also, down in that gap down there, my engine's covered in oil. There is something going on down here. It's really difficult to see, but we're getting an oil leak from underneath the head of the engine, which is really not good, and it is causing oil to leak, burn off and create a horrible, horrible smell. It's disgusting. And this, oh well, I don't know. I really don't know what to do about this. I don't know if I can do it myself because of just where it's leaking from, so it's going to be a very expensive repair if I do need to get it done. Recently, I put up a post, this one right here, asking you what I should do to improve my videos. And I've gone and bought myself something new, some new mics actually. So we're going to quickly swap them over. So out with the old. And pause the video there. So what would be in with the new is not, because I accidentally did not turn my mics on. I do eventually at some point in about a minute or so, but I totally forgot to turn them on. And here's basically just waffling on about what we're going to do in today's video, like taking the rear wiper off the car, which many of you requested. I'll leave as many of the comments on screen right now of all of you guys saying that I should do that. And then I started to move on to actually removing it. I was telling you guys how to take off the back panel because that's the first step. There's basically 2 Phillips or crosshead screws almost near the hatch, and then there's 2 T25s if I remember, Torx ones that are just inside, and then once you remove them you can just pop the panel off. Like I said, I totally forgot to turn my mic on, but I do turn it on right now, so tell me in the comments if you can hear a difference to basically what we had before and what we've got now. Sorry guys, I've just realised I've not actually had the mic turned on. It is on now, so hopefully I sound a lot better than what I did the last minute or so. But whilst we're here, I might as well tell you that the top 2 bolts that are on the, like almost where the seal is, they were Phillips or crossheads, and then these 2 on the inside are both Torx. They are not sure what size they are. T25s, those 2 are on the inside. So that's them now taken off, nice and easy. Fingers crossed now we should be able to pull this panel away and then we can obviously access what's behind it. Well, there we go. We've managed to get that off. That was an absolute nightmare actually. It's quite difficult, but we managed to get it off, except this clip's stuck in, but we'll get it out. So I believe that's everything on the inside. We're now gonna go and undo the nut on the outside to actually take the wiper off. Okay, so I've actually just quickly taken that nut off. Now I'm going to try and, well, hopefully this will now come off, but I think it might be seized on. Great. I can't even close my boot right now. There we go. There. Wiper off. That was relatively easy. So now we're left with this, which is basically like the bit of the motor that pushes the fluid through so you can actually clean your rear wiper, sticking out, which on the inside is that bit right there, and it looks like it's held on by that bolt there and that bolt up there. So if I undo the two of them, is it held on by anything else? Maybe that one up there as well. I think it's those three. If I undo them, that should all drop off. Unfortunately, the next bit of footage is corrupt. I actually did take 3 bolts out, and it allowed me to pull the motor out of the back of the boot, which is basically what I do next. This whole piece here should hopefully come free. Fingers crossed. Oh, it sounds like it has. Or is there anything else that's just holding it on? Nope, you can see a little bit of daylight just starting to appear through where obviously it's going to drop out from. So we're going to need to manoeuvre this a little bit, but we'll get it out. So there we go, motor off. That was actually really easy in the end. The water connector just pulled straight off. As you can see, it's like a little pipe we just sat over the top of that. If anyone wants a motor for theirs, if they need one, hit me up. I'll sell this to you. I don't know how much they are, but you can have it because I now don't need it. So yeah, as that's off, we're going to quickly get a zip tie. We're going to zip tie up the water so nothing can get out, and then we're also going to zip tie the electrical cable because it's kind of just dangling here like this, to get that out of the way, put the bung on, and then put that back panel on, and this will be done. That was really easy. So then, now that we've actually taken out the full motor and everything, I believe this should just pull right out like that. There we go, that little rubber seal. God, that's dirty behind there. I'm gonna have to clean that off before we put the bung in. But, I mean, right now, it looks kind of funny with a little hole like that. Let's go clean it. Yeah, like I said, let's just go clean it and then put the bung in. Okay, so here's the moment of truth. Is the bung that I bought off eBay for a couple of pounds the right size? Oh, it's tight. It'll definitely go in. It just needs a bit of persuasion. Oh, come on, you. Oh, no. What have I done? How have I managed this? There we go. Well, it's on. It ain't perfect, but I tell you what, that will do. I'm happy with that. I got a little bit of bubbling on my boot, which is kind of worrying because I don't want this to rust. And there's a slight hole in the side of it, but it looks like the bung covers it. But I mean, other than that, I mean, that's what we wanted, right? That looks better. That looks better without a wiper. We just need like a little spoiler now, or like a little bit of an extended bit, you know, it comes off the back. That's what we need now. But I tell you what, this, yeah, 10 times better than what we had before. Let's go. And just like that, we are fully done with this rear wiper conversion, if you could say. Ready? 3, 2, 1. It is a brand new day, but the goal does absolutely not change. We've got to try and get these windows tinted. We've got tint for this window, obviously the rear one, this one and this one. Now the birds have gone ham once again, but we're going to sort all of that out and we're going to try and get this tint on. But here is the tint we've actually bought. So I've decided to go for 5% limo tint, the darkest you can get. I hope this really helps, obviously following the stealth theme of the car. And mate, this stuff is gonna look so good. I've never fitted tint in my life, so this is gonna be a fun experience. Hopefully with a few videos we can get this done, but yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Okay, so the first window we're gonna start off by trying to tint is this small one here, because I believe it should be, hopefully, the easiest one to do. I say that, but we'll find out. The reason why I think it's the easiest is because obviously these windows go up and down, and because they go up and down, you've got to kind of tuck the tint in around the glass so it doesn't come off as obviously it touches the rubber. This one's fixed, so it should be, fingers crossed, the easiest one to do. So the first thing I'm gonna do is we want to clean the outside window. I've got some like glass cleaner. It's probably not the best thing to use, but it's what we've got to use. So there we go, we'll give it a few sprays, then we'll just wipe it off. So next what I'm doing is going to clean the inside window, because we need to keep everything as clean as possible. It's pretty much like putting a screen protector on your phone, but instead we're putting window tint on a car. It's a pretty big step up, but you know, if you can fix a bike, you can fix a car. So then, my glass is now looking absolutely impeccable. It's very clean, but if you had a razor blade right now, you'd be wanting to scratch or not scratch, you want to be scraping the window with that blade, but I don't have one, so I'm gonna have to use this type of thing, which is kind of like a razor blade. I think it's used for this anyway, and I'm just gonna kind of scratch at the screen, see if I can just take anything off. But a razor blade is what you're meant to use. I just don't have one, unfortunately. So now we've scraped off everything, we're gonna spray the window a couple more times. And now we're going to use a squeegee to basically just squeegee off all the water to the edge of the window, basically until it's dry. Okay, now that we're all squeegeed on the inside, that's a funny word, squeegeed, we're going to spray this outside window here, get it really, really wet. We're going to pick up our tint, which looks like this, 5% limo tint, as you know. I'm going to stick on the outside of the window, basically, with the clear side facing towards me. Now, before you get into the comments going, oh my god, you meant to put window tint onto the inside of the window, you'll find out why in a minute as to why I'm basically putting it on the outside to start with. Just hang tight with me. So now we have the tint on the outside, we're going to continue on spraying a lot onto the inside to keep it really nice and wet. There we go, absolutely juicy that. And I'm back on the outside of the window. The reason why we've got it here is because this has helped me to peel off, hopefully anyway, the clear lining. As long as it's like stuck to the window, which it doesn't feel like it is. But we're going to be able to peel back this clear lining and spray it down at the same time. Oh, there we go. Oh man, come on. Stop being a pain in the ass. There we go, there we go, there we go. I believe, come on, work. Yes. Okay, so as we're peeling it back like this, we want to be spraying it down at the exact same time. There we go. Keeping the tint really, really wet. Just like that. And now I'm going to peel the tint off, holding it right on the edge. Just like this. And now that the sticky side is exposed, we're going to put it onto the inside of the window, line it up in place, and make sure basically that there's no light coming through. So we're very, very close already. Somewhere around there should be pretty much spot on. Now to keep up with obviously all the spraying, we're going to do a bit more, but this time to the outside of the tint, because this will allow the squeegee to just run a bit more freely on the outside basically and not pull it off the window. Now the next step is to take our squeegee yet again and work from the middle outwards, trying to push any water we can out basically. So this is a step that requires quite a bit of concentration, I can imagine, so I'm going to concentrate hard on this because I am honestly, my adrenaline is pumping right now. I am so bloody excited. So now all the squeegeeing's done, I've actually gone and got this little hard card here, very hard plastic really, putting it in a paper towel so I don't peel the wrap off, and we're basically just attacking any air holes I can see, trying to move them out from under the tent, which isn't the easiest of jobs, but it's a job that is definitely worth doing to try and just almost finish the look and make it look as good as possible, I guess. I am really happy with how this looks, man. This looks sick. Oh, guys, you ready? I've already had a look around this side. Oh, man. That's the first time I've ever installed window tint. It's not perfect. As you can see, there's a small little gap around the top. I must have just put it a bit too low. But oh my God, this looks so good. Let's just quickly shut the door. There's nothing there. Okay, good. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, it definitely needs this. That is going to really annoy me though, that little line across the top. I mean, you can take the tint off and re-stick it down, but that is going to be really annoying. But I mean, as a first time, maybe there's some more bubbles there we need to get out, but as a first time, that's not a bad attempt. I mean, come on, that's not terrible. I'm going to try and just fix this up. I'll see what I can do about this bit. Might have to try lift it up and spray some more behind it or so and move it, but as a first attempt, that I'm taking. Oh guys, if there's ever a saying right now that'd be perfect for this, if it would literally be, man, if the first time felt so nice, I had to do it twice. Oh yeah, this side is a lot better. I might need to just squeegee a small little bit over here, but oh, I nailed that. That looks 10 times better than what the other side does. I mean, already just having that one done, we're going to do the boot in a minute, and having that one done, oh, it just makes the car look so much better already. I absolutely love that. That looks amazing. Now, back to the boot, because we're going to try and install this one next, which is going to be, yeah, this is going to be hard. Okay, so I've decided I'm actually not going to do the boot for the minute because we need to heat the wrap up and expand out and everything. And especially when it's raining like it is right now, I don't think we'll be able to do that. So instead I'm going to try and crack on with these windows, which require a little bit more attention to detail basically on how you do it, instead of these, which are really easy. It is the next day, by the way, and you can kind of see there's like a clear line. I need to probably just squeegee again, just so there's just like slight bits of water behind it. But I'm going to try crack on with these side windows now. It's not much different to the fixed ones. You have to have the window just down a small bit, do half of it, stick it on, do the other half, you tuck it in behind the seal. It's pretty much about it. So we're going to crack on.
Do you ever call back? Do you ever pick up on that phone? Stop pretending I don't know you're home. I guess not. Do you ever respond? Explain it all again, again, again. Tell me why you don't wanna be friends. I guess not. Baby, no, I don't wanna go. You know how much I hate sleeping alone. I can never make it on my own. Tell me what I'm gonna do. Tell me how I'm gonna live my life without you. Yeah, tell me why we don't make sense. Tell me how I'm gonna get through.
Unfortunately guys, we are going to have to leave the video there this week. I have just completely ran out of time this week pretty much. I've got to edit this video and I've got to go do other things over the weekend. Like, I haven't got any time really to continue putting this tint on. And I'm going to have to leave it there because I'm gonna have to fiddle with this for a while now, because obviously I've got big bubbles here and they ain't coming out. Other than that, you know, it looks really, really good until you open up the door and you see this. And this is a real pain in the ass. It's stuck like down here behind the tin. I've been fiddling with it now for probably about half an hour and it is just not budging. So my E87 1 Series has been through quite a transformation in recent times. When I picked it up just over 2 months ago, I had roof racks, mud guards, everything. We stripped all of that off, changed indicators, we put a new cup holder on the inside of the car, we started to add tint, but overall it's not the best looking car, nor is it the best sounding car. However, I have a plan to improve both of these. And to do that, we're gonna start with this. Good afternoon guys, how you doing? It's time for a very, very exciting week. So not only have we got a performance air filter to put inside the car, we've also hopefully gonna be picking up some brand new wheels. Some blacked out ones, because obviously we're going for a stealth look with the car, and what is really killing it at the moment are the wheels we've got on it. And they really just, they don't look amazing either. I'm not a huge fan of them. I mean, could maybe powder coat them, might save a bit of money, but I think the new wheels that we are getting later in the video, fingers crossed, look 10 times better than what we've got here. So just hang with me guys, because I reckon you'll love them just as much as I do. But we'll get more onto that later in the video, because obviously I want to start off with getting this air filter in. And if any of you were around when I was actually doing my Corsa, you'll know that I had an air filter in my Corsa, a Ram Air one, like I've just picked up for this one. That was a performance one, and that changed the induction noise massively and gave the car a little bit more of a roar. And I'm really hoping it will do the same with my car now, because it's just a little bit tame, you know. It sounds a little bit like Simba before he grows up to become the big boss in Lion King. So I am massively excited to get this in the car, because I am hoping it will have the same sort of effect that I had in my Corsa, and it will just give it a little bit more of a roar before we get an exhaust fitted. A real quick note on the tint as well, I had to take it off. As you can see, I have now fixed like this seal down here, but as I was trying to do that off camera, I accidentally put like a massive rip down the middle of the tint, so I've had to take it off. I've got a new one on order. Once that one's arrived, we'll be able to obviously fit that side and then this side, because if I just do one, the car would look very, very odd. So before we head home and actually get this air filter installed into the car, I want to get a before of the sound of the car, and then once we've obviously got it installed, we'll get an after. So I'm going to go head somewhere right now, and then we'll basically test out the sound of the car before and after we've obviously fitted the air filter. So let's go. So here's a little quick before of what the car sounds like when we're idling and we're parked up like this, if I wanted to just rev it up quickly. So yeah, as you guys just heard, it's really nothing special. It's just a stock inline 4. So we're gonna get this air filter installed, but first we're gonna get like a little rolling shot from behind the car. So I'm gonna stick you right here. Hopefully you don't fall off when I'm driving. I'm kind of nervous, but let's give it a go. So now, first things first, we're going to want to take off the air box, which is this big plastic piece right here. I believe it stretches quite far down into the car. We're also going to want to take off this hose here, the MAF sensor just there, and then there's another hose just here which we want to unclip. It looks like though it's being a pain in the ass and I have to unclip it from underneath somehow. Might have to take this piece off as well, this big bit here. Hopefully not, but it's quite a bit of work just to get an air filter out basically. That's one off, and they've also got a washer on it again, just like they had on the oil filter. So we've got those two removed. The MAF sensor, I believe, just pulls up and out. I hope anyway. Yep, there we go. There's your MAF sensor, which looks like it's on 2 clips. Okay, that's the piece that obviously feeds the cold air from the radiator into the airbox. That's quite easy. You pull one side off, pull the other side off. It's quite quite easy to be compressed basically, so you can quite easily take that piece off. At this point I was really struggling to remove the hose clamp that was allowing the inlet manifold to receive air from the airbox. So I had to take off the big plastic cover which sat on top of the radiator, basically just opened up a bit more space so I could get to the hose clamp, because annoyingly it was on the bottom, basically facing the floor and not on the top. So I took off the big plastic piece and it gave me full access to the hose clamp. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave the MAF sensor in because I can't seem to take it out, which is fine because we can still change the air filter without having to obviously have the MAF sensor taken out. We're just going to have to remove, well, loosen this clamp a little bit more, and then we should hopefully be able to wiggle this off and then turn the box upside down. And there we go. Managed to get that off. Obviously now this is how big the airbox is. It's rather large. We've got a couple of Torx here, and there's another one just over here. We take that off, and there's another one here. Should be able to split this in half, which will give us access to the air filter inside. My cat's just scared me. There, all 5 now taken out, and that is the last one. So this should now somehow come apart. Can it just be pulled apart maybe? There we go. And then this side as well. There. Well, there's the air filter on the inside that we're going to be replacing. First thing we're going to do is pop it straight off like that. Really, really easy. That's your typical air filter for a 1 Series. Nothing special, nothing crazy, just a paper mesh one really. And that's obviously going to be replaced by this lovely Ram air filter, which will hopefully add a little bit more noise to the car and give it a bit more of a voice. So to install this, we're just going to pop this on top of where obviously the old air filter was, all the way down like that, and then we're just going to tighten up this hose clamp, and that should pretty much do it. There, that is a new air filter installed into the box basically. Now I'm going to see if I can put this bottom half back on. If I can't, that's fine. If I can, we'll put it on. Or do I not? Do I leave it exposed down the bottom? I mean, it will get very dirty, so no, we're not going to leave it exposed. We're going to put the box back on. Hopefully we'll get some lovely induction noises then. Scrap that idea. We cannot put the this cover back on top because the new air filter, well, it's too big basically, and we'll just damage it if we see if we put that on. We're just going to damage it, so we're going to have to leave it exposed down there like that, which is awesome. It is going to get quite dirty though, which I'm a little bit sad about. I mean, just look at the edge of this, it's covered in stuff, and that's what goes like that, so imagine it all going towards the air filter. We're going to have some lovely induction noises after this, so that's the exciting part, right? Now, next thing we're going to do is try and wiggle this back into place, just like so. That one goes up there, that one goes down there. We need to put the hose back on as well. Okay, now that the hose is connected back onto this airbox, it obviously leads into the inlet manifold. We're going to try to put this cover back on with the little pipe that feeds the cold air in, and we'll bolt these 2 down and we'll be done. And there we go, all done. Looks like nothing ever happened around here now. Other than we're missing obviously half the airbox and half of the air filter, which is pretty sick. Everything's back connected and attached. Nothing's going anywhere. So I think it's time for our first start with the new air filter, don't you think? Now, just like with my Corsa, I can never really hear a difference when I was like idling, like I was just then. So, if you could hear anything different through the microphone or the camera, should I say, let me know. But when we take it out on a drive in just a second, we'll really find out if there is a difference or not. Okay guys, it's a brand new day and I've actually gone and got the wheels, and I've got a few mates here to help me, so we're going to clean these up because right now they are absolutely disgusting. We've got dried concrete on some of them, they're chipped and they don't look very good. We're going to clean these up and then put them on the car and see what the fitment's like, because we need to order some new tyres. So let's get cracking on. Massive thank you to Ollie and Ashton for coming out and helping me. I'm now going to take these to the place that I want to get them refurbed to get a quote on that, see how much it's going to be. But then we're also going to go to Halfords to pick up a car jack so I can get the car in the air and put these new tyres on, because they're 18 inches and the ones I got now are 16s. So I want to see what the tyres are going to be like, so obviously what tyres on. But yeah, we're going to take it to the refurb place, get a quote, get a jack, come back, put the wheels on, and then we'll go from there. So let's go. Okay, so we've just taken one of the wheels down, the worst one actually. This one right here doesn't look the best at all, does it? We've just taken that down. We've got a quote now for refurb, or the refurbishment of the wheels. So I'm going to take them down tomorrow after I finish work. We'll be picking them up next week, so stick around for next week's video because we shall be getting these on the car. Also been to Halford now, should I say. Picked up a jack. So I'm actually going to lift the car up now, put two of the wheels on, see what it looks like, because obviously I need to order some new tyres as well. And then obviously put the old ones back on, which is kind of boring. But next week, I'm telling you guys, stay around because next week we'll be getting these new wheels on. It's going to look so much better. Alright guys, that is the first time I've ever taken a wheel off of a car. Some reason that was really good. That is really cool. I've never done that before. I feel so good for doing that now for some reason. But I'm so excited to get this other wheel on, obviously, so we can just measure the tyre size, see what we need, because they're quite a bit bigger than what we've got on now. So let's just get this wheel on, shall we? Because this is going to kind of give us an indication of what the car will look like as well once we've got the new wheels on. So I've now got one of the new wheels on. Obviously I'm not putting the other three on, there's no point, I'm just trying it out for tyres. And the fitment on these, I actually really like it. I think this looks very, very, very nice. Now I know what tyres I need, so I need 225s by, I'm gonna get 40s on the front and 45s to the rear, and obviously they are 18 inches. But that is what the fitment is looking like for the car. If you guys like this, then I suggest you hit that subscribe button and stick around, because next week we'll be fitting these properly once they are fully refurbed. It's been 8 days since I last picked up a camera. And it's not because I didn't want to, it's because so much has gone on with the wheels that I've literally not thought of picking up a camera. Good afternoon guys. If you see my last video, you'll know that I picked up these wheels right here off Facebook Marketplace for a pretty good steal of £200. Obviously, they are not in the best of conditions. Conditions. I'm not posh. But I have found out that there are some M Sport wheels that have come off a E92, which is pretty nice. They're 18 inches. They're also known as the, I think they were the 196 BMW M Sport alloys. I think that's what they're known as. But we're gonna be fitting them onto my car. Just not yet, because we're going to be taking these somewhere in just a second, because we'll be getting these refurbed. So I say stick around, because at the end of this video we'll be putting these on the car and it will be completely transform the look. Because right now, well, The car looks okay, it's not too bad, but with these wheels on, it's gonna look 10 times better. So we're gonna get these in the car, and we're gonna get down to where we're gonna get these refurbed to drop them off. But for now, let's get down to the refurb place. There, we're all loaded up with the wheels. Let's go take them down to the place now. Okay, so the special place to get my wheels done is this place called TB Alloy and Body Repairs. Now, these guys do alloys and body repairs basically, as they say. So we're dropping wheels off here for the next 5 days, and we're coming back to pick them up towards the end of the video. Hopefully they'll be coming back looking nothing like this. Alright then guys, whilst we wait for obviously the new wheels to be refurbed and we get them back, got my mate Joe here, and we are going to crack on with trying to fit obviously the window tint on this window, but it's a little bit more advanced putting on this one than obviously the other side window, so we're going to give it a go and we're going to bring you along with us. So we started off prepping the window by cleaning the inside and the outside, then using a razor to scratch at the inside of the window to try and remove as much dirt as possible, and then squeegeeing away all of the dirty water. Okay, so yeah, that's all our prep on the window done now. Cleaning the outside and the inside. That was green, wasn't it? That was disgusting, that inside. Look at that, it's minging. Anyway, so that's the prep done. Now let's actually crack on with getting the tint inside, basically. When I said that this is very different to another windows, we need a bar of soap, which is odd, to say the least. So we've got a bar of soap here. We've been told to wrap it up in some... Yeah, that's a very good idea. That might do it. We've got to wrap it up like this, and then we're going to spray it with our cleanser, like this, and we're going to rub it like this until we create a lava, as we were told. So rubbing a bar of soap that actually creates a sticky layer on top of the tissue. I then use this to apply to the back of the window, and you'll find out in a minute why I did that. So the soap's now dry, and we've basically got to just draw a H on the windscreen. If you don't know what a H looks like, here's one on the screen just here. But basically, a line that way, a line there, a line out to that edge, and a line down. There, H. That's the H. There we go. Now the tint should sit on top of this H, but not the soap, allowing us to basically heat shrink it to the rest of the windscreen, fingers crossed. Right, next we're going to heat up the tint to basically stretch out to fit the rest of the windscreen. Once I heat it, Joe's going to be stretching out, so we're going to give this a go. Neither of us have done this before. Wish us luck. Heating the tint was actually quite a bit easier than it seems. It just took one heat gun on like a medium to high setting basically, and you hold it over the tint for about a second or so. It heats up, it will shrivel ever so slightly, and when you take like the hard card to it and just spread it back out, it goes nice and flat. Well, it's meant to anyway. Unfortunately, we dropped the tint. I got it off camera though, and then we didn't clean it again. So it got rather dirty. There was quite a bit of stuff stuck underneath the tint. So when we were actually heating up and then stretching it out basically, we were just dragging dirt along the tint. We ended up ripping a little bit. As you can see, there's like a hole here and there, and then there's a really big crease through it, and it wasn't sitting nicely against the window. So we ended up deciding to just rip the tint off and sack it off because, well, it ended up not being very good, put it that way. Well, me and Joe decided to take the tint off because it's the first time we've ever done it, and we put a massive crease into it by accident.
It's where it flew off.
Yeah, it must have been where it flew off at some point. But we're going to scrap this piece, I'm going to reorder it, and we're going to try again at a later point. But if you guys have any tips for putting on tint for me, please let me know, because I've never done it, Joe's never done it, and that was basically our first time ever trying. So any tips down below would be greatly appreciated. Okay, so this was definitely not part of the plan. Company that I've dropped my wheels off to have messaged me today whilst I've been at work today that I need to call them urgently about my wheels. This could be very bad news, could be very good news, I don't know. But we're going to call them right now and find out what this is, because I'm extremely nervous. I've got like 3 missed calls from them. So we're not going to mess around, we're just going to call them up, find out what's going on.
Hello, TB Repairs.
Hiya, it's Sam calling about the wheels. Now at this point, I was incredibly nervous, dreading whatever I was about to be told.
Hello, mate.
Not too bad, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, sorry for the missed calls and whatnot.
No, that's right.
Right, basically, we've got all your wheels stripped.
Okay.
We shot blasted them, and we've undercovered. Well, undercut, yeah. Basically, there's 5 cracks on 2 of the wheels.
Hearing that pretty much killed off all of my hopes getting these wheels refurbed within basically 1 second.
So basically, total coming at what's it called? 580 all done.
Okay.
So it's just what you want to do with them, really, because it then becomes an expensive set of wheels, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. £580 to get a set of wheels refurbed. Basically like buying a completely brand new set. I needed time to think about this. Is it right if I could have a bit of time to think about it and get back to you guys possibly before you finish today at like 5 o'clock or so?
Yeah, if you could.
After asking the guys if I could think about it, I had 45 minutes to make a decision.
Nice one. Cheers, buddy. Bye.
Right, bye. £200 more. Oh. Knowing that I only had 45 minutes to make a decision, there was so much money on the line here. Literally the biggest risk I have ever taken. I had to come up with a decision quickly. I've come to a decision, so we're going to call them back now. And we're going to see what we can sort out. Hiya, it's Sam again.
Oh, is it just to let him know whether you want to go ahead with the cracks or not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, that would be I'd like to go ahead with it.
You'd want to, yeah?
Yeah. Is it alright if I can also drop down some new tyres that I've got for the wheels as well?
Yeah, of course you can, yeah, no problem at all.
Excellent.
I will let him know if that was all, yeah?
Yeah, that is pretty much everything.
Okay, I'll pass it on to him.
Awesome.
Alright, no problem at all.
Lovely. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
bye.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to go ahead with it. We're going to get these cracks repaired because they've already pretty much finished the wheels off already. So what's the point in basically just not finishing the job off? We'll get these cracks repaired. We'll get the wheels fully refurbished. And then fingers crossed after that, we'll have some new wheels for the car. But my lord, is this coming to be very, very expensive. Well, it's been 8 days since I last picked up a camera. And it's not because I didn't want to, it's because so much has gone on with the wheels that I've literally not thought of picking up a camera because everything's gone on. I've got a massive story to tell you guys. Let me take you all the way back to Tuesday last week. After that call, I decided to go and take my new tyres down that I got for my wheels, because obviously they're new sizes. What I had on before was 17s, these are 18s, so I need new tyres. So I went and took my tyres down and I had a look at the cracks. I didn't record it, so I'll try and animate it for you. So last Tuesday then, I took my tyres down to TV, had a look at the rims, and the cracks were, well, let's just say 4 of them were not too bad, but one of them was really long. It basically was split in between where the edge of the rim is, kind of, I don't really know how to explain an alloy, but basically from the edge, kind of went up the edge and then back down into it. It did not look good at all. Despite this, I still went ahead with the welding and we got it done. Now, Thursday, I was in college. I had a message from them when I was on my college break saying that my wheels were ready to be picked up. So I dropped my car off down there to go pick the wheels up, and I came back at the end of my college day to pick the car up, and the wheels were on there looking immaculate. They looked so good. Later that evening though, I had to go pick up my family from the airport. So I drove to the airport and I drove back. It's about an hour there and an hour back. When I got back, I checked all the rims to make sure I hadn't scratched them. Nothing was wrong with them, any punches or anything. Everything seemed fine until I got to my rear left wheel, which was hissing at me, like almost spilling air, and because it was wet that day, you could hear the water being squeezed out of the tyre basically. So I thought, that's a bit strange. I'll just leave it for now and I'll check it the next morning. Even though I was heading off to Birmingham the next day, and that day I was heading to Birmingham was also Good Friday. Why I decided to risk it on Good Friday when nowhere was open, I don't know. It was silly of me, basically. But the next morning, I got up and, well, the tyre was completely flat, no air in it at all. I decided to pump it up and try and get hold of any garages, but obviously everywhere was shut because it was Good Friday. I panicked a bit and I ran over to Whole Foods and I picked up a torque wrench so I can swap my wheels back over to obviously my old set, so I didn't really have to worry about them too much, just so I can get to Birmingham and back. But when I got back and took out all the bolts on one of the wheels, it was stuck to the hub and literally would not get out of the hub, basically. So I decided to try and get hold of Kwik Fit, and luckily they were open. They could get me in if I got there as soon as possible. I got there, they managed to get the wheel off, they managed to take the tyre off, and they found out there was nothing wrong with the tyre, nothing wrong with the alloy. All it was the valve was slightly dislodged and it was just allowing air to leak out, making the whole tyre flat. All of this running around took 4 hours in the end for it to just be a quite simple and straightforward job. So that brings us to today then, where it's, like I said, it's been 8 days since I last picked up a camera. And that's because there hasn't really been much to record, because obviously I didn't refurb my wheels. And then when I was running around stressing about everything, I literally just didn't think about picking up a camera. And then obviously I went over to Birmingham, so I really didn't have time to do anything up there because literally me and my girlfriend went to watch some massive monster trucks, like Monster Jam. It was incredible, by the way. But here we are, 500 miles later with the new wheels, and they still look absolutely perfect. Definitely need to clean though because, well, it's been raining, they're a bit dirty. But my God, does the car look absolutely different now. From what it looked like before, I'll leave it, literally this is what the car looked like before. I don't think you guys are ready for how it looks now, but I'm ready to show you. So, I want to hear your guys' opinion on this down in the comments below. If you like this, if you hate this, if you love it, if you don't like it, whatever your opinion is, I want to hear it down below. Because it just looks incredible. You ready guys? 3, 2, 1. So there it is then, my brand new wheels on my car. It's kind of weird to say that. Look at them, like, the car looks so different. It looks 10 times better, I absolutely love it. Let's just talk you through then a little bit about these wheels. I think I said earlier, right at the very start of the video, they're the 196 M1s. They're not, they're 193 M wheels. They came off, I think, an E92. 3 Series that had been absolutely ragged around. You can tell by the condition of the, obviously the tyres before, absolutely ragged, wheels cracked. It looked awful basically. And the guys down at TB Body and Alloy Repairs have done an incredible job of these. If you guys need anything done to your car, body work that needs redoing, say you've been in a crash or something, or you want to get your alloys redone like I have, they do an absolutely incredible job. Massive shout out to them. I'll leave links to their Facebook page and stuff down in the description, down in the corner. Yep, the description, that's the right one. For you guys to basically go and check them out because their work is incredible. Like, the car looks amazing. It's not there yet, but it's definitely getting there. That is incredible. These wheels of these calipers and these center caps just look unreal. Wow, wow, wow. What a difference these new alloys make on my car. I mean, they just look incredible. I've read all your guys' comments about your opinions on them, and they're not the most reliable wheels, which is absolutely fine. But I am over the moon with how they look, and today we're only going to be complimenting them by changing a few more things on the car, which will hopefully elevate how it looks, I'm going to say. Now, if you haven't seen last week's video where we actually put the wheels on the car, I'll leave a link. I think this is the top right, I'm going to guess so. For obviously you guys to go watch that video, I'd highly suggest you do so. It was a crazy video, so much happened, and it's also my best video on YouTube yet. But today I've got plans of hopefully painting the brake calipers. I also want to tint the rear lights because they kind of stand out. You know, when we did like what stood out most of the car, and it was the wheels. Well, it's now the rear tail lights or rear lights, whatever you want to call them. They're what's standing out most now. So I need to really quickly head to Whole Foods and Wickes to pick up a few things like paint, sandpaper, all the other stuff that we need to basically complete today's quests, tasks, whatever you want to call them. So let's jump in the car and let's head over to Whole Foods because I don't want to waste any time. Let's go. Okay, so we're here now at Whole Foods and we're here to basically pick up a few bits that we need. I want some brake caliper paint and I've decided to go red because the interior of my car is red, so it's probably going to match up better. I'm also going to need some axle stands, so I'm going to pick some of these up as well. Hopefully they should be able to hold the car. I've never used them before, but I'm sure they will be. And the last thing I'm going to need is some wheel cleaner because, well, I want to clean the car and I want to also clean the wheels. So we're going to get some and hopefully we'll bring back some lovely sparkly shiny wheels. So back from Whole Foods now, we've obviously got all of our goodies, obviously with the ratchet stand, red line cleaner basically. I think that's what it is. Basically, yeah, it is. Lovely. And then the brake caliper paint. Now, I have no clue how you paint brake calipers. I've never really been able to paint at all in my life. Literally, this is one bit of art I did probably a couple months ago. You could tell I'm not very much of an artist. Obviously, with the brake caliper being behind the wheel, we've got to take the wheel off. We've got some new hubcaps coming as well later on in the video. Hopefully, some fully blacked out ones where I swap them over. And then it'll kind of just get rid of that little hint of colour on the side, which will obviously just look stunning by the end of it. We've got so much dirt on these wheels already since they've been refurbed. I'm not really doing them justice, am I? I want to give the car a good old clean. So I'm definitely going to do that first before cracking on with the brake caliper paint. I'm also going to try and tint my rear lights this video. Maybe go full black with them. I do want to get some LED ones in the future though, but for now I think just tinting them is probably a good idea. But before we start smashing on getting these wheels off, I think we definitely give the car a clean because it is filthy, absolutely filthy. So let's just get cracking on with cleaning my beautiful little 1 Series. Okay then, my car is now wonderfully clean. As you can see, the wheels, they are still just absolutely stunning. I mean, just look at the quality. Honestly, the guys down at TB have done such a good job with these, and we might be going back there again soon, as thanks to one of you guys, I might have got a rear bumper for the car, an M Sport one as well. Not sure if you guys know what the M Sport one looks like, but it's nothing, well, it's obviously like this, but it's got kind of like a sportier look basically. But the only problem is it's white, and obviously TB do body stuff as well, so I've asked them if they could quote me on how much it would be to just get the bumper painted. Fingers crossed, or we heading back down there soon, obviously drop that off, but we'll see, time will tell. But for now I'm going to start with tinting the rear lights, as I've decided I would like to do that first, mainly because I'm actually going to run out of time today. It's literally going to go dark in about 30 minutes, and tomorrow it's going to be raining, so it's probably a better day that I do that instead of doing the brake calipers. So we're going to try and do these tomorrow, or basically in a second for you. So I'll catch back with you guys in a day's time. Okay, so it is now the next day, and it's time that obviously we start working on these rear lights. They shouldn't be too difficult from what I've seen, because, well, we're just going to be smoking this, the outside of the light basically. And it looks like all it is on the inside, there is that bolt there, that bolt up there, yeah, that one there, and then there's another one just tucked in down back just there. So if we undo those 3, the light should come out. First we're going to clean the boot, and there we go, the boot is now empty. So I believe to take these off is just a 8mm socket. Should be able to just put over the top and undo them, and then I think, if I'm correct, there's little clips that sit down into the bumper, so you kind of got to bring it forward and lift it up. I think we're going to give it a go and take these off, because if we're going to spray paint them, we're going to want it off the car. I don't really want to do it on the car, so off the car is the best choice. Oh, and if you're doing this yourself, remember to undo the electrical connections, because if you don't undo them, they'll, well, I don't really think the light's going to come off the car because it would just be connected to it. And there we go, literally just take it off. These 3 nuts down here has freed up the back of the light. All you need to do is take off that electrical connection, and then if you pull this one down, the whole bait, oh, actually no, you don't even need to undo, you don't even have to take the electrical cable out. If you just pull this back or pull down, you see the whole light assembly just drops off. Just got to be careful with it because obviously there are a few bulbs on there, but that frees up the full headlight. And there we go, that is exactly what we're going to be tinting today. Right then, before we actually go and tint these lights, why does the back of the car look so strange? Like, do you see what I mean? Without the lights, that is odd. That's such a weird look. Just got the bulbs hanging out, and make sure to take care of them. Make sure to take care of them if you do it yourself as well. I've tucked these ones in behind because the lights are slightly different. These ones don't want to go in behind. There's just like more cables that's preventing it. It's a bit weird, but that's what the rear of the car is looking like. It's odd. It's very odd, I will admit. But we're now going to take these round to the back of my house, get these cleaned up, get these, what's the word, rubbed down with a bit of sandpaper, and then we're going to spray them. Whilst they're drying, we're then going to try and paint the brake calipers. So let's just get cracking on. All right, so we have the lights out back now, and all we're going to do is basically just clean them and then use a bit of fine sandpaper on them, clean them again, and then spray them. Hopefully then we'll have some black rear lights, as long as I don't put too much spray on, because I don't want to have them full murdered black. But let's just give this a go, because I've never done it before and I'm actually quite excited. Let's go. Okay, so I've put a first layer on right now, or a first coat should I say. It's not too bad, you know, but I have accidentally gone a little bit too thick down there, you can see it, and I had to wipe a bit off over here, but it's not actually too bad. They're looking all right, to be fair, considering I've never spray painted in my life. Today's the day where I'll be spray painting a lot, because I've also got to do the brake calipers in a little bit. But for now, as a first coat, I am really happy with these. I'll probably come back in maybe 45 minutes for me, check on them, see if I need to add another coat or not. But let's get cracking on with those brake calipers next, because they're going to be a bit more longer of a job than just this. Okay, change of plan. So as I can't undo the bolts on the other side, I can on this side luckily. So we're going to do this side, jack it in the air, and then we're going to try and give a go at painting this caliper. Alrighty, so we have now got the wheel out of the hub, and to be fair, I'm actually really happy with this. I know last time I took a wheel off I was well happy, I am again. And these wheels look incredible. And you know when I said they needed to be re-welded? Well, here is the welds that we were talking about. They look, wow, they look like good welds, except the middle one, which was done by some dodgy bloke before, apparently. But these wheels, in my opinion, they are absolutely gorgeous. But like I said, we're only going to be complimenting them today. Let's get these calipers painted red. Not painting them with bread, we're painting them red. So let's get these red. But actually, before I do that, I have got a little something that we're going to add to the wheels. You see these hubcaps or centre caps, whatever you want to call them, they are chipped, mangled, and they just do not look very nice. Well, in my passenger side, we've got something that will change that. In this bag just here, we've got some brand new centre hubcaps that is really gonna just go along with, obviously, the look of all black. So let's just sit you guys here and let me show you what I'm talking about. So in this bag, we've got some brand new all black and white centre hubcaps, whatever you want to call them, I keep saying that, to sit right here on the wheels. It's going to look incredible. I think these are as easy as just pushing them out like that, nice and easy, taking these, clipping them in. Oh, look at that! Okay, now we're talking. That looks insane. Oh, I'm gassed with that. When that's on the car, oh my God, we're gonna be talking something insane. Because right now, if you look at it like this, they kind of stand out with a hint of colour. But now, with these, no colour. Right, let's crack on with these calipers because I really want to get the wheel back on now to see what this looks like. And I'm really nervous about holding it on the jack. I can't get it on any, what's it called, on any of the stands unless maybe I get it somewhere here. I don't know, they're a bit too tall. But like I said, one day we'll get some scissor jacks or scissor lift, whatever you want to call them, we'll put them onto that. So, now that the calipers are exposed, they're actually really dry. They're actually really dirty, not dry. We're actually making them wet. You know that cleaner we got? We're gonna be spraying some of that onto the caliper. Hopefully it'll just eat through some of the dirt and give it, well, make it just a little bit more clean for when we come to scratching it up with sandpaper. Okay, so now the caliper's clean, got some pretty rough sandpaper. I'm just gonna rough up as much of this as I can because we're basically just trying to create a surface that the paint can basically bond to. Once that's all roughed up, then gonna cover up basically as much of it as we can, just keep basically just the brake caliper exposed, because then, like I said, we'll just be painting the brake caliper and nothing else. Okay, so I've got the wheel masked up as much as I possibly can, or not the wheel hub. I'm gonna try and just paint this caliper now. I know some of you may be in the comments going, oh my God, you've not covered it enough, like blah, blah, blah. Honestly, this is the best I can do with the facilities that I've got to my, what's it called? Basically, with everything I've got, this is the best I can do. Just gonna basically just try and paint as much of this and not this. Wish me luck. We're gonna give this a go. Fingers crossed it turns out all right. If not, then, well, I don't really know. First coat applied, and I may have got a paint just like down here, maybe a little bit on the pad, but all of that will come off obviously when I use the car. It might have got around here and everything. It's okay. It's not actually that bad of a job, to be honest, in my opinion anyway. But we're gonna let this dry, get a second coat on. We've now also put 3 coats on the rear lights, and they will be, I think, good enough now with 3 coats. So once those lights are dry, we're actually gonna put them on next and then come back and do another coat of this. So let's just get those rear lights on now quickly and get that finished. All right, so let's get these lights back on the car then. So this is what we've gone for. This much spray. They actually look really, really good in my opinion. When they're on the back of the car in a minute, shut up seagulls. Thank you. When they're on the back of the car in just a second, wow, are they gonna look good. So let's just go get these on the back of the car real quick. Oh, they look incredible, guys. So happy with them. Okay, so this is literally what they look like up against the car. You know the deal. Exact same as taking them off, but just in reverse, really easy. Oh my God, guys, this, Joe, tell him.
I am speechless.
You may hate this, you may love this, you might think it's chavvy, you might think it's not, but it adds to the car, doesn't it? Talking about stealth from the car out, this is incredible. Compared to what they looked like before, absolutely incredible. Obviously we've got the brake caliper down there, we've got another coat to add to that, and then they should be done, but oh my God, I'm completely over the moon with this. I might need to,
Perfect. That one's got no problem.
no? Perfect. I might need to just polish it out a little bit because tiny bit sticky and got some finger marks in it. Polishing it out though might just make it look even better, but I'm over the moon with these. Let's get the wheels, well, let's finish off this caliper and get the wheel back on. And then I might go through, quickly change all of these hubcaps and all the wheels because it'd be weird to have one and the other 3 not. Let's get this brake caliper finished. Okay, paint is now dry. Well, I hope it's dry. It looks it. and mostly it'll be fine.
Ish.
Yeah, it'll be mostly fine. We're going to take all of this tape off and get the wheel back on, and then fingers crossed we'll have one finished brake caliper. Go. That seems to be all of it. It's not perfect. We've obviously got paint a bit on the brake pad, but all of that will come off when I start driving anyway. Let's get this wheel back on, shall we? Wow, wow, wow. That is incredible. These wheels of these calipers and these center caps just look unreal. I'm going to change the other 3 center caps on the wheels now really quickly. Well, yeah, once we've done that, I'll then show you what it all looks like. So let's quickly just change those 3 center caps over, and let's give you a quick look of what the whole car looks like. And just like that is the next day yet again. And yesterday I ended up not actually being able to change any of the hubcaps on any of the 3 wheels because the wheel is stuck to the hub. I don't know how to get it off. I've searched up videos, I've watched them, I've tried literally everything that everyone says, like kicking the wheels like either side to try and get them loose to knock them off. They're not coming off. So I can't change the hubcaps on them and I can't paint the calipers. So at the moment we're just stuck with one. Just one. I mean, it looks a bit ridiculous of just one, but I mean, you can just tell by the look of this wheel here. You see just the brake, oh wow, you see where I got a bit of paint down there, which is fine. But that hubcap, compared to these, it's 10 times better. It looks 10 times better. I'm so happy with it. And then these rear lights, in this type of lighting where it's quite sunny, they're not being picked up the best, but they are lovely and smoked. Went out last night. The only issue though is when I have my rear lights on, I can't really see a reflection, or like I can't really see much of a hue out of any of my mirrors to do with them, which is a little bit sketchy, but the looks of them are incredible. My cat's come to say hello. You alright? But I'm completely over the moon with these. But my question to you guys is, where do we go from here? What do we do next? I'll probably just crack on with the rest of those brake calipers off camera, do them all by myself, because I mean, you've seen how I do one, you don't really want to or have to see how I do the other 3, because we all know now. But where do we go from here? I want to get some Angel headlights at some point, but with the amount of money that I spent on these wheels, I want to wait a little bit before I spend an extra like £200+ on some headlights. Thanks to one of you guys, I will be picking up soon an M Sport rear bumper to go here. I did say it earlier in the video, it is white. Maybe we try and paint it ourselves. If not, we'll definitely take it down to TV and they'll do it for us. But I'm not sure if we'll do that next week or the week after, I'm not sure. I've also got the idea of changing these mirror caps to M ones. Yeah, you know the ones that have like the little flicks on them like this. I'm thinking possibly that as well, and maybe change the front bumper to a 1M1. Then once we've done that, I'll kind of be out of ideas then. That'll be almost everything I can do to this car. If you have any more ideas, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear them. And then hopefully we'll look somewhat like a 1M E87. Good afternoon guys, how you doing? Welcome back to another video, and we're starting this week by heading down to BMW, because if you've seen one of my previous videos, you'll know that I've got an oil leak for my rocket cover. So I'm going down there now to order a new gasket. We're picking it up for next week's video, so make sure to stay around then as we'll be fitting it and hopefully fixing the problem. My word, there are some really nice cars here. There's an M4, I think there's M3, maybe an M2. There's a bunch of cars that hopefully in the future we will find ourselves working on. But for now, let's just get one of the guys out here to quote me on this gasket, because I can't imagine it will be cheap. Probably about 50 quid for a piece of rubber. It's ridiculous, guys. It's ridiculous. So we go, guys. I've just ordered that gasket and it should be ready to be picked up Wednesday, I think, but we won't be fitting it till next week's video anyway, because we've got a couple of things I want to do this week instead. But hopefully next week we'll give it a go. Well, it's £36 for this gasket, which is a lot for, like I said, it's a bit of rubber, but it is what it is. We'll give it a go next week. Fingers crossed it goes right. But that's not our issue for today, because we've got some things back at home that I want to be fitting first. So I'm going to get those done this week, and then that gasket will be fit next week. All right then, that is now that gasket ordered. By the way, I just want to say I'm sorry about my voice. I've not been feeling amazing this week, so if I'm a bit quiet, that is just a heads up as to why. It's extremely windy today though, as you can probably tell. So the audio may not be perfect, I'm sorry about that. But we've got a few M modifications, or one, and we'll pick it up one later towards the end of the video to actually fit onto my car. And what we've got to fit now is some lovely mirror caps from the M3, I think it is. As you can tell, my car's not the most aggressive looking from the front, but that's all right. There's loads of time to obviously modify it and make it look better. I've seen so many messages about, or so many comments, should I say, and messages from you guys as well on Instagram, saying I need to get some new headlights. That hopefully will be coming in a couple of weeks' time. You just got to hold on and wait for that. But just take the car up a little bit of a notch. We're going to be installing those mirror caps, and fingers crossed it will just look a slight bit better before we start working properly on the front end. Okay, so I believe taking off this mirror cap's really, really easy, because on the inside of the new one, you can see there are like 4 clips here, 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 and here, and they should be relatively easy to just kind of pry forward by getting this little tool in underneath, kind of just lifting forward a little bit. I've also got this big clip here. They'll be sitting obviously on the end round about here, but if we just kind of pry the top and the bottom, over time we'll just obviously slacken off. We should hopefully just be able to pull it straight off. Whoa, that popped off very, very easily. Well, that is the back of obviously the mirror off. That was very easy actually. It only took about a minute just of prying backwards and forwards, loosen up very nicely. And you can see obviously where all the clips popped into, I believe these couple of holes here. And now hopefully the new one should just clip straight back on top in place. Obviously this is what the original mirror cap looks like on top, and then the brand new one looks like this. Lovely, shiny, glossy, and it should hopefully just fit straight back on top in place of this one. We'll see. Make sure that when putting this one back on, you see obviously all the clips that we talked about earlier, make sure they're going into these holes, not here, I got it completely wrong. So that hole there, that one, and there's another one down there. And then that big pin type looking piece should slot into that hole. Make sure they all line up before trying to push it on, because you might accidentally snap them and then, well, then it won't go on, will it? And there we go, just like that, the mirror cap is now installed. It looks really, really nice. Let me show you this. This is looking so, so nice. The gap there is absolutely perfect. Compared to what we've got on the other side of the car, so boring, nothing to it, no character, it's rather plain. It just adds a little bit more, like my car's got a little bit more personality now basically. We're gonna get this other side done as well, and then hopefully we'll look somewhat like a 1M E87. Just need the bumper and the headlights and the exhaust and everything else and yada yada yada, but you know, this is looking sick. On that side came off a lot nicer, and straight back on with the new one. Oh, I've done it again. That is so, so nice. Honestly, I am loving modifying this car every single time. That is sick. I am over the moon with how this looks. That was so easy as well. It took probably about 15 minutes max. Oh my God. That was definitely needed. It just adds that little bit extra flair to the car, doesn't it? Obviously, we just need to change this front end up now, make it look even more aggressive. But, oh, I'm so happy with this. Let me know what you guys think of that down in the comments. Is that something you'd do? Is that something you wouldn't do? I personally love it. I'm so happy with this. On to the next thing. It's not really a mod, but it's definitely something that I think should be done. Alrighty guys, let's continue with the things on the side of the car basically. We've got some wind deflectors. I have never installed these before, so I don't have a clue what I'm doing. Basically, like everything else I do on my car. But I believe if I take the cover off all of these tape bits, I should be able to sit it up inside where the window is. There's a few clips basically put in and should hold it all in place, hopefully. I didn't think it was going to be as easy as that, but no, that's in. Now we just need to put the clips in basically to hold it in place. And then fingers crossed, that is one wind deflector in, but we'll see. Okay, so the clips that should just hold us in place, you're going to need some sort of like card or something to push them up with. But I believe they should sit, you're going to want the flat bit as well, this bit here. Shush Siri. You're going to want this flat bit here basically facing towards you. And then you're going to want to kind of go somewhere up here, I believe. I don't know if that's clipped in. I think that's in. We've got some more to do, but basically it looks a bit, where was it? You can just see it, there you go, it's up there, you can just see it there. I'm gonna hope it's in because on the underneath of it, bloody tripod's in the way. But basically, you can see it from the underneath. It's kind of like gripping on the inside rubber trim. I believe that's what it's meant to do anyway. We're gonna put the rest of these in, and hopefully, well not the rest of them, I'm gonna put one of these in again, and hopefully it should, fingers crossed, hold. Yeah, so in total I've now put 3 clips in. We've put one down on the bottom near the A pillar, then one like somewhat the way up, and then one near towards the B pillar. And that should hopefully hold this in place as long as the window obviously goes all the way up and all the way down, which we'll now test. Well guys, I think that's absolutely all right. I mean, it seems, yeah, it seems fine. That's closing up just fine, isn't it? Lovely. Well, that's one completely done. It's all the way up. Yeah, no, don't want to go up anymore. That's fine. Right, we're going to install the other 3. Two for 2, lovely. Three for 3, lovely. And that is 4 for 4. Fantastic. These look amazing. I'm so happy with them. Well, here we are then with the mirror caps and now obviously the wind deflectors. Can I just say guys, I am so happy with everything that's going on at the moment with the car. It's like the build that I envisioned in my head. It's all starting to come together. We've been doing this now for maybe 2 months, and we've made so much progress in 2 months. You know, was it last episode or the week before? I can't remember, but we said we were going to be getting an M Sport rear bumper. I'm going to be picking it up tomorrow afternoon. Well, there it is then, the new M Sport rear bumper for my car. Like I was saying though, it is white. It is white. And that is okay, because obviously we've got TV that can repaint it for us. We've got to clean it up though, because it is filthy. Look at all of this dirt on it. It's horrendous. We're gonna clean it up. You can see as well, it was actually blue before it was white. So it's probably come off a blue one, painted for a white one, and now it's gonna be painted again for a black one. So yeah, before we take this down, we are gonna give it a clean because it is filthy. Fingers crossed as well, won't cost too much to get it painted because it doesn't need repairing. Alright then, this is the bumper, lovely and clean. Didn't take too long, looks pretty good now as well. But I have a question for you. Do we stick with this rear diffuser or do we get a different one which looks a bit more aggressive? Let me know in the comments because I'd love to hear what you guys got to say about that. But let's get this long piece down to TB for painting. Okay, that bumper is now dropped off at TB. We should hopefully be able to get that back. Fingers crossed next week. If we do, we shall be fitting in next week's video. But I'm going to pop back to BMW now because the gasket should be able to be picked up, which we will obviously be doing in next week's video. And then we're going to go home because I've got one last thing I want to put on the car and then we'll wrap up the video there. So let's go grab that gasket real quick. And that is one rocker cover gasket. This thing is massive. Christ. So to finish off this week, I've gone and picked up a set of some stickers because I can't find any badges that basically replaces this one here. So I've got a set of stickers to basically just cover these 4 bits here to fully black out that. And this set also covers my steering wheel and the badge on the front of the car. So fingers crossed, once I've done those 3, we'll be matching up with the ones down here on the wheels, which look awesome. We've actually done all 4 of them now, so every single wheel is now looking like this. So on this sheet I've got loads of different sizes. I've got ones that should fit the wheels, the steering wheel, and obviously the front and back badges. So I'm just going to peel off the biggest ones, as I believe the biggest ones is what do obviously the front and the rear badge. That is looking sick. Those stickers just to put over the top. I know obviously I've saw the white ones there, but I believe the badge at the front's the same size stickers as this, and I've only got 2 more of them left because if you look at the sheet, these are the biggest ones. I've only got 2 more of them. So I've just covered up the 2 blue for now. I'm going to do the same to the front, kind of just leave it like this with the white. I don't know, kind of like it. It gives a little bit of contrast, obviously you can match with the white here, but I think maybe I do order another set and completely black that out. Let's go do the fronts quickly. And there we go. That is looking 10 times better with just changing the blue stickers to black basically. Do kind of like the look of it, you know, with just the white and black stickers. Glad that obviously matches on the rear now. There's just one badge left to change. It's obviously the steering wheel. And there we go. That is the steering wheel changed. It's looking 10 times better. We've just got to sort out all of the chrome in here now, all like these silvery bits basically. Darken these out and have the lovely just black and red interior then. Also including these bits, trying to obviously get all this out. Yes, my cat has joined me. She always does, doesn't she? Some of my most requested comments have been to add a spoiler and also headlights to my car, or change headlights to Angel ones. And thanks to one of my friends called Ollie, he's gave me, not lend me, he's gave me his Angel headlights off of his E82 as he is now selling it for a really, really good price. Only issue is we need bulbs. They are on order and I will be getting these tomorrow for me, and I'll be cleaning these up and installing these. But at the moment, I've got the spoilers to fit instead. And here is the spoiler. Thanks to one of you guys actually. Hit me up on Instagram and this spoiler cost me 30 quid, or about 28 it was in the end. And basically it's going to be going on the back of the car. I'll show you. It's going to be going on at the top here, basically looking something like that along the back. It's going to look 10 times better. But before I fit either of that, I need to take back to last weekend where I gave it a go at spraying some of my interior pieces black. So obviously as we're going for like a stealth look on the car, we have loads of silver trims on the interior, like this big one up here on the dash. We've got some down like the side of the door, also at the handle as well on the door, but I don't really think we can do much about that. I'm having to take the door card off. And then down on the center console, we've also got these kind of bits here. And I have the idea of possibly spray painting all of this. So I think that's what we're going to do today. We've also obviously got, as we're 5 doors, got everything in the back as well, which I think is just these big strips that help you to close the door. So we're going to give it a go, obviously taking all of this out and then try and sand it down and spray painting it. So this piece here is rather difficult to get out actually. I believe it goes quite far back up into where this whole dash is obviously. I might try to give it a go off camera in a little bit, but I think I'm just going to crack on with getting the rest of the trims off because I think that may just be easier than sitting here doing this for like 20 minutes and getting nowhere. So these are all the pieces of trim that I managed to get from inside the car. The top of the centre console couldn't quite get out. It's a bit of a pain in the ass. I might have to take out the whole centre console to be able to do that. But we've got all the door handles. Obviously got that long piece that sits on the top of the dash. We've got a bit that sits around the start-stop button and a bit around the gear shifter. So we're going to take a bit of sandpaper to these and then we'll spray them up. And then hopefully we'll have some lovely blacked out interior pieces to put straight back into the car. And there we go, that is all the parts I need to be sanded or just hit with a bit of sandpaper, all done. As you can see, they're all scratched up around the edges and everything. So we're going to put a bit of cardboard or something down basically and we'll get a good layer of spray paint on these, maybe 2 or 3 in the end, but these are going to look so good when they're fully finished and put back in the car. A first coat done to obviously all of these interior pieces. It doesn't actually look too bad, to be fair. This paint doesn't. It's quite nice, and I can't tell if it's going to be glossy or matte once it's dried, but they definitely need a few more coats than what they've got at the moment. So we're going to let these dry and then give them another hit of obviously some black paint. So yeah, as I was working on obviously painting these pieces for the interior, they ended up turning out awful. Look at the state of the paint. It does not look good at all. We've got bits of where I think like where I didn't clean the dust off maybe, and obviously the dust has now ended up underneath the paint and the paint's not got a good layer on it. It just doesn't look good. It's happened to almost every single piece on the interior. But before you start slating me in the comments, I have got a plan. Now, my plan is to basically go back over them, sand them again, but this time, don't just sand them with P40. We're gonna go all the way up to maybe 5,000, 6,000, get it as smooth as I possibly can, and then wrap them. But as I have no wrap on me, and I don't have 5,000, 6,000 or really high grit sandpaper, I might have to wait a week or possibly 2 before I actually do that. So I'm just gonna have to deal with some horrible looking interior trims for the minute. But believe me, we will be fixing them, just not yet. But now I think it's time that we fit this rear spoiler onto the car, as I'm very excited, and it's going to look 10 times better than without one. As you can see, it's kind of just missing that little bit extra to just come out of the back of the car. So let's get to installing it basically and show you how to do it. So the first thing we're going to want to do is prep the area. I've got some wipes. We're basically just going to wipe it down. It's probably not the best way to do it because you probably should clean it properly, but I've got some just surface wipes and they will do the job because it will be getting covered up anyway by a spoiler, so it shouldn't matter too much. So as a spoiler I've got, it's only low profile. As you can see, it's not a huge one. Only really need to clean this part of the boot here, but now we've just got to kind of just lined up in place and it should fit hopefully somewhere like that. So before we get that spoiler on, let's just have one more look at what the rear of the car looks like. Bit plain, isn't it? So the first thing we're going to do is get some tape on this long part basically. I think somewhere around the edges should hopefully be enough. If you are going to do this yourself though, I'd highly recommend using some panel bond. I have none on me, I haven't ordered any, so for me it's just going to have to be the tape and hopefully it will hold. Okay, we have the spoiler all taped up now. We've just got to remove obviously these red strips and then line it up and push it on, and fingers crossed it will hold. That looked mint. Well, what do we think of this? I think this looks quality, guys. That just adds a little bit extra, doesn't it? Just a little bit of a flick on the back from behind. That looks so cool. I'm really happy with that. This might sound really weird, but when I was young, I used to really dream about having like a spoiler on my car. And this is just like fulfilling a dream. It's like the smallest piece of plastic, but I love it. That looks so good. I am so happy with that. I mean, look at everything that we've got on the car now. The mirror caps and obviously the window flags last week. And now this as well, and the wheels. Oh, this is looking so good. I am so happy with this spoiler. Obviously, it's only on with tape, so it's not going to be perfect. But I tell you what, that I am so happy with. Now that spoiler is on, it's looking so good. It's time to work on cleaning up these lights because they've been obviously on a car before and they're a bit dirty, a bit scratched up. But on the back, they are absolutely filthy. I'm trying to find a bit of dirt, like if I just do that, like they're not very clean. Just gonna give them a clean up and make them look a little bit better before we get the bulbs tomorrow. And that is two absolutely filthy headlights cleaned up. Unfortunately, he did not have any arch liners on his car. So there's so much filth on the inside of these, especially this lens. Look at the state of that. If any of you know how to split headlights and put them back together, obviously without breaking anything, please let me know down below because I want to clean these properly on the inside, especially down here as well on the inside. They are filthy headlights, but those bulbs that we're waiting on will be here right about now. Here they are. These are obviously those new bulbs for the halo bit of the headlight. So hopefully when we put these on, we'll have a lovely white ring, but we've got to install these first before obviously put them on the car. So let's do that really quickly because it's quite, I think it's just a plug and play job. So these are the new little bulbs. I believe they're ones for the dash, like the little display on the dash that you normally get in like any car really, but they also are going to fit the halos on here. So inside my headlights, I've got these 4 little pins. These 4 little pins here that they house these tiny little bulbs. But these, I believe, are yellow bulbs, and we're going to be replacing them with these white ones. They're also really burnt out, the old ones are, so it's a good job we're replacing them. Otherwise, they wouldn't have worked if I just put them in the car and hoped that they would work. So these are slightly longer than the tiny little bulbs that we've got inside of here before. So hopefully these will still fit. If not, then we're gonna have to try find some different lights to obviously put in here. But I hope, well, Ollie has told me that these are the right lights that should fit. So as long as he's correct, these should be okay. So all 4 bulbs have now been changed. These are now LEDs, I believe. Now I must say guys, this is extremely fiddly. I'm going to just show you why. So as you can see, that little hole down there is where I've got to get this little bulb, and there was one down there as well. You can see where I have to push it in. With someone who's got decently sized fingers like me, that is quite difficult to, squeeze my fingers in and kind of push it in. Boom, we're in with all 4 of those lights now. So hopefully we should have white halo angel lights here. Now we've got to do this to the other 3. I'm not going to show you how to do it again because it's very straightforward, but I'm going to do it to the other 3, so cue a time lapse. Okay, so before we actually install these, I just want to say that one of the little halo light bits is stuck inside of here, basically. So imagine this is the hole that the light's sitting in. There's like a bit of plastic right above, so as you're pulling the light up, it's hitting where the plastic is and it's not allowing me to pull it out. But I've changed the 15 other halo bulbs, so we're going to have all of them, bar one is white and one's going to be yellow. That is fine for the moment. I'm more than happy to do that because I've got to get these in the car today because I've got no more time this week. So I have to just crack on with these like right now. So slate me as much as you want in the comments to give me as much hate as you want about how ridiculous this is going to look. But for now, this is all I've got and it's just going to have to do because I've got a plan in the future to split these and then sort everything else out. And then when we're splitting and everything, we will give a go at doing it then. Just for now, it's going to have to stay as it is, unfortunately. Okay then, no more messing about. It's time to get these lights off and changed with obviously those halo ones. All right then, so to take off these lights, due to like the shape of them and they've got a bit that kind of comes out the bottom here, I think I'm going to have to drop the bumper a little bit or at least slacken it off. So to do that, there's 4 Torx bolts which sit just along the top of the bumper. We should be able to take those 4 off. And then there's a couple bolts inside of the wheel arch, which I believe are, I want to say 8 or 10 like socket ones. If you want to do them, hopefully we'll be able to just slacken off the bumper enough where we can obviously take the headlights out. So I also forgot to say that we need to take off all of the bolts that sit underneath the car, obviously hold the bumper to like the under tray. So we've got one there, there's a few along here, and then there was one that held it on somewhere over there. And then obviously it's the opposite on the other side. Now with them off, we should be able to pull off most of this inner liner on the wheel arch like this. My wheels might be in the way a little bit, which is kind of annoying. Let me figure something out quick. So there was one more bolt that was holding the liner on. It was around about where the wing and the bumper meet. Once you do that, you could pull the liner forward, and then there was another bolt just behind there. It was quite difficult to get to as it was quite tucked in, but once you undo that, it freed up the bumper completely. Well, I didn't realise this, but there was in fact 2 bolts which sat kind of up here behind the inner lining. One of them was just here, as you can see. The connection point between the 2 bits would have been right there, and then the second one was somewhere about here. You've got to pull the inner tray or the inner lining basically forward and then undo both of them, and then the bumper becomes relatively loose. I'm still working on doing the other side, but it's a pain in my ass right now. So we're just going to forget about that and we're going to take this headlight out. So it's that one there on the top, that one just there on the side, and then there's another one just down there through that hole. Can't quite get it on my camera, but there's one down there, and then there's also that one just there as well. So I'll do those 4, and fingers crossed we'll be able to just pull the headlight away from the front of the car. Well, there we go. That is all of the bolts removed. Despite dropping a T30 and having to remove the under tray, this headlight is now loose. And fingers crossed, that's a bunch of bolts from the under tray. This should be able to come forward and hopefully out. So now with the old headlight removed, we can obviously take this back panel off, I believe. Should come off relatively easy. I believe it's just these clips. Well, I hope it is anyway. Yeah, there we go. And now that gives us access to the bulbs in the back, which if we take out, we can put into the new one. We've got obviously the indicator one just there, and we've got the 2 main bulbs. So we can take them out, put them into obviously the new headlights, and then assemble this all back together and put it on, and we've got 1 headlight. If I can only do 1 headlight today because I've got less than an hour, I really couldn't care. I'd rather have 1 headlight than none, and then we can do the other headlight maybe next week or off camera or something. But I am so relieved, and I'm so glad I stuck at that because I can prove myself wrong. Like I prove myself wrong too often. So before I put the headlight actually in properly, just want to check to make sure all of the bulbs are working and that we get no faults up on the dash. Well, all of the halos bar 1 there and 1 up there are working. So I need to just quickly check them. Obviously we've got one odd halo over there. Let's just check the full beam. Yes, we have a full beam. Last of all, do we have an indicator? We do, I can see it from back here. Perfect. So I'm just gonna check on those few angel lights and make sure that they're not anything broken and I can just quickly clip them back together. So I have decided, despite these being slightly dodgy lights, I am going to stick with them for now. They might not be perfect and they might be slightly on the, how do you put it? They don't work properly, put it that way. But I've decided that what I'm going to do instead is do a video on them, like completely for the headlights only, and we'll completely refurb them ourselves. So that will include obviously taking the front covers off and then making the front covers look half decent. We will make sure we fix everything going on the inside of them. We'll just do a full video that will be refurbing these lights, but for now we're just gonna have to stick with some dodgy headlights. I'm gonna try and get the other side off as well really quickly and do that side, but for now that is this side done. I am really happy with it, but Ollie, you sold me some dodgy stuff. What a bloke. Well, I am so sorry everybody, because I really wanted to get this done today. I really wanted to have these fitted on the car and everything like that, but obviously we've got this one side on, but I'm really struggling right now to get this side because there's one bolt, I don't know if you can see in the gap, but there's a little bolt which will not move because it's held onto a clip, and I really want to get this done today, but I'm losing sunlight, or daylight should I say, very fast, and within the next half an hour it'll be completely gone, it'll be pitch black. So I'm gonna have to end it there this week. It's only Wednesday as well, and obviously my videos come out every Sunday at 6 PM, but it's my girlfriend's birthday tomorrow, so I'm with her for the rest of the week, so I won't be able to record or edit. And I've got to get this video done tonight as well. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you doing? I have made a pretty big mistake. But before we get on to that, first, let's address the elephant in the room. Last week, we failed massively at getting both these headlights in. And Joe's back, as he always ends up being. And we're basically going to jack the car up, take this wheel off, and we'll have full access to the inside of the arch to hopefully take the bumper off and do this. Fingers crossed it shouldn't take too long, as I've got a bit of experience now. So now that we have the wheel off, it's pretty much the same concept as last week. There is the one bolt just there, and then there's another one just up here somewhere in the arch, just there. And then there is this top one just up here. But if my camera can focus on it. But yeah, if we undo those three, this part of the wheel liner it will come free. We might need to undo that one there. There's obviously that one there. We'll basically go and do a few. We'll try pull this away and see what we can work with. So after removing so many bolts, we've now found where that little one is. Obviously it wouldn't come out last week. It is right up here. It's difficult to get my camera up there, but if I can see it in the editing, I will point it out to you guys, but it's right up there behind the arch liner, which explains why I've taken the wheel off. So the next step is we're going to now undo that bolt. And fingers crossed, once we undo that and then we open up the bonnet and then we undo everything on the inside, we should be able to drop the bumper off just enough where we can then obviously take the lights out and change them over. Fingers crossed. Okay, we've got the light out. Massive thank you to Joe. He got the bolt out that we could not get out. Oh, that's such a relief. That's so many hours last week. It just took like 10 minutes.
I mean, you could have just called me.
It took 10 minutes. So this is obviously the lights as we know. Not much wiring is required for these, but we do need to change all the bulbs over quickly. Don't forget that, so quickly do that. So we've got all the bulbs changed over and the light now plugged in. Joe's cracking on with scratch up the caliper down there, as we're also going to paint that one, seeing as the wheel's off, why not? But just going to check these bulbs, make sure everything's working. It's not for any, obviously, warning lights up on the dash or anything. They're on this side.
They're on that side.
They're not that side. Maybe I've put this cable on the wrong way. As I went to check the headlights to see if any of the halos were working, none of them were. They were all on the driver's side, but absolutely none on the passenger side. Okay, indicator's working.
Now you need to find out if that's working again.
Why are none of the halos working?
They're all fresh, shouldn't they?
Well, the headlights are on, guys, but absolutely none of the halos are working. I can't put a finger on as to why that's happening. Let's just check full beam real quick.
Full beam works,
Yeah, full beam's on.
but none of the halos are working.
I'm not entirely sure as to why none of the halos are working, but like I said last week, I am going to do a full video on these where I clean them up, go through and just fix all the issues. I'm not too fussed about the halos not working at the moment because they're not really an integral part of a light. So I'm just going to leave it for now. Obviously the lights are working fine other than the halos, but definitely in a few weeks time we'll crack these open and we'll just fix them, clean them and do everything that we need to do. But at least for now we've got the other headlight changed and it does not look a bit lopsided, if that makes sense. And just like that, we are now on with the headlight. We've now got 4 eyes for a car now. And it looks so much better. I'm really happy with how this looks now. All we've got to do is just put in the rest of the arch liner and then we're going to paint this caliper up to make it look red, obviously like the other ones. And just like that, we are now back on with the wheel. Massive thanks to Joe for painting that caliper. It looks absolutely mint. It looks so much better than what we had before. Obviously, this is what we've gone from, so it looks 10 times better. Obviously, we need to finish off doing that rear one too. But for now, let me just explain to you the big mistake I've made and why I need every single one of yours help. So, where to begin? A couple weeks ago, I picked up a white M Sport rear bumper from one of my subscribers for £50. Now, if you're watching then, you'll remember that I took it down to a body shop to get a quote for it to be resprayed, but let's just say I wasn't expecting it to be as much as they quoted. The amount it would have cost to get this bumper resprayed is ludicrous. I could buy 2, maybe 3 rear bumpers, the M Sport ones, or maybe even a 1M style one for the price that they quoted, which was a whopping £360 just to have it painted. Well, when they told me that, I literally couldn't believe it was that much. I would not think it would be that much, especially when you can get an M Sport rear bumper for somewhere between £80 to £150. That has been used in relatively good condition. But £360, I was not going to pay that. So I did think what the most logical thing was to do and go and pick it back up. So now that we've picked up the rear bumper again, we've got 3 options, and this is where I need your guys' help. So the first option is we go ahead with it. We pay £360 to get this painted, to then be the same colour as the rear of my car, which is obviously black. The second option is if one of you have a body shop, which I think is very unlikely to the small amount of subscribers that I have, you guys let me come in and use the body shop, teach me a few things, we work together to paint this bumper black. But the chances of that happening are incredibly unlikely. And finally, the last option is we sell it. We sell it and we go pick up a black one to fit the back of the car. That could be an M Sport one or an M1, 1M style, should I say, rear bumper, which looks so much nicer than these M Sport ones, but come at a bit more of a hefty price. Now, I'm not really too sure as to which option to go for. I'm leaning more towards option 3 because option 1's just crazy and option 2 is a real shot in the dark and I don't think that could happen. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'll leave 3 comments, option 1, 2 or 3. If you just leave a like on the one that you think I should go for, whichever one has the most likes, I'll consider that option. But if you want to just leave your own thoughts on it, comment that also down below. But that is the situation for the rear bumper and why I made a pretty big mistake in buying it. So I think we'll just leave that there on a little bit of a bombshell until maybe next week or so, and so I've looked through all the comments. But I've got a little thing on up on the roof of the car now, and that little thing is going to be a shark fin to replace this horrible, horrible antenna. So here is the antenna that we're going to put onto the top of the car to hopefully replace this wand that sticks out and looks completely ridiculous in my opinion. Now to unscrew the old antenna is actually really simple. It's just twisted off like that. And in here houses what is literally your radio. But we're going to replace it with obviously this, but unfortunately it doesn't quite fit. Let me show you. As you can see, the bottom of the shark fin's quite large and covers quite a bit of surface area, and due to what the antenna basically screws into, this is rather large too, and it doesn't fit. So we're gonna have to cut some of this off to basically allow it to come down flat, and then that'll be covering up what is under here, and it does screw in as well, so we will still get a radio, which I'm not really going to use. So we're going to have to modify that. I'm going to get a little pen and a saw out. We're just going to cut away maybe half of that bit on the bottom, and then fingers crossed it goes flat. It is starting to rain, so let's get in the garage and let's get our hands dirty cutting up this shark fin. And just like that, as soon as we get inside, it starts absolutely tipping it down with rain. Thank God we're in here. Fingers crossed it stops raining when I finish with this, because I do want to get it on the car, and it's only stuck on with like some double-sided sticky tape thing. And I'm not going to be able to put it on if it's raining, so hopefully it stops raining. But also, whilst we are in here, if you guys would like to see a really pretty interesting garage build, or like, not really a build, but kind of like a conversion, because right now, this is the state of our garage. It's a tip. It's an absolute tip, and I want a bit of workspace where I can do things like this in a garage. So if you want to see a video, might take like a month long, might take a bit more than a month to make, but if you want to see like a garage build type thing where we just strip out the garage and we actually make it look half decent, leave it in the comments, because I'd really like to hear what you've got to say, because I do want to turn this garage into a place where I can work, but it is going to take a while. So leave your opinions down below. Let's get this shark fin done. And just like that, after a little bit of dremeling, which is something I've never done before, it was good fun actually, we've now got a shark fin that should go over the top of my car. I've had 6 off the sidewall on the inside as well. With a bit of persuasion, this should sit over the top of where the old antenna was, but as it is still absolutely tipping it down outside, we're gonna have to wait till it dries up, because the tape that sits on this is just not going to stick if it's wet and rainy. So we'll wait for it to dry up and then we'll fit this on the car. Now, despite it absolutely tipping down right now, I am not going to stop to try and get this on. I want to get this on immediately, so I'm going to try my hardest at, well, fitting this in the rain. We're going to try and keep everything as dry as possible, but I can't see this going particularly well. That's all right, it's just all part of the fun, right? Once we get a unit one day, we'll be able to do this just fine, but then with a unit, we probably wouldn't be working on 1 series, a little E87 1 series, should I say. Let's get this on. So I've just taken a leather rag basically around the area that the tape's going to sit, and it's drying up nicely despite it raining still. But if I just keep on wiping this, it is drying up really nicely. We're just going to have to work really fast to try and take this back bit of the tape off and then get it on there and keep everything dry. Well, it's on, but it's not really on. It's got the wrong curvature compared to my car, but that's really annoying. I can't find any that are for my car, so I thought I'd just buy one off the internet and probably have to do exactly what I've done. But it's so frustrating because I can't find one that fits my car, and it's not on there properly, but it's on. As you can see, there is a huge gap in this, but the front and the back of it's held on, just the side bits aren't. Like I said, it's the wrong curvature. I can't find one that's for my car. It looks like it's gonna pop back off. I might have to scrap this. That is so, that honestly, that looks horrendous. I hate it. I'm getting rid of it. I'm getting rid of it. If you guys know any like shark fins that are for this car, please leave them down below, because that is absolutely awful. And I don't like that at all. I can't find any for my car. So if you can, please leave it in the comments below. I really could do with just a hand with that. But despite it raining, it's literally just popped back off. That's really funny. As we're talking, it's just popped off. It's going, it is going. But the last thing that I think we're going to do today is fix this oil leak that we've been getting from obviously the rocker cover. You know the gasket I bought a few weeks ago? It's time to get it in the car. So then, Joe is back. It's time to start working on this gasket. But first, I think what we're going to do is disconnect the battery, as we've got to be working with some of the electrics up front. I don't want to electrocute myself. Now with the battery disconnected, it's time to start removing these top trims up here so we can get full access to the back of the engine. I believe it's, if we take these two covers off, there's a few bolts that hold this big piece on, and then there's a few clips. There's an electrical connector there. There should be one, or maybe not over here, but if we just remove all of that, we get a bit more access to the back of the engine. That is all of the trims now taken off the top of the engine. It's time to take the engine cover off, which is that bolt there, and then there's one just tucked somewhere down behind there. And then that cover will come off. Make sure to take off the oil cap as well, or otherwise it's not going anywhere. Now with the engine cover removed, it's time to remove the coil packs, which Joe will show you. So you basically just lift up the top bit, and then the back of it comes out and you unplug it, and that is literally how you remove one of the ignition coils. Do that to all four, and then I think remove spark plugs. So with all the coil packs disconnected, you'll pull out these four next, which I think they are, well, obviously the spark plug sits in the end. They're meant to be clean, but as you can see, they are covered in oil, which clearly indicates a rocker cover fail. Okay, so now with what I believe they're like coils or like coil injectors that go down obviously into where the spark plugs are removed. Next thing is to remove this positive cable here, so we can just remove these so we can move these positive cables out of the way, giving us more access to this fuel rail, which is next to come out. So we've just moved the nut. That should allow us to move this out of the way now, like that. Got a bit more access to the engine. The next bit is to remove this fuel line. I'm absolutely terrified for this. The whole time I've been absolutely terrified, but mainly for this bit here. And it's going to be a 14mm spanner on that one just there, and that one down there, right there, all the way along the engine, remove all of these fuel lines. And I think the fuel pump might have to come off as well. This is what I'm really nervous about, because I don't know, I've never done this before. Okay, you just got to allow it. I'm nervous, but we're giving it a go. I want to say for science, but we're doing this for a healthy engine and for you guys. So let's get this done. Come on, wish me luck. We're gonna die. To get that fuel rail off, we're gonna need some spanners, which somehow me and my dad have absolutely none of. So pop them to Whole Foods, gonna pick up a set and then finish off taking this fuel rail off. But we're running low on time. We gotta be fast. Okay, we're here literally to get them spanners, like we were saying. We've got a guy down here who is going to open the cabinet for us. Oh, this is a nightmare. That is the spanner set we're looking for. The 8 to 24mm one.
Just a few little individuals.
The set, please, mate.
Yeah, so I've got ratchet spanners there.
Yeah, can I have the 16-piece one?
Yeah, we've got the flex head neck, or the non-flex head neck.
Ooh, can I have the... Oh, one, please.
Yes, I know. The best way to buy spanners, because sooner or later you're going to need all sizes, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
it's very expensive by the one at a time.
I do YouTube and working on my car right now. We're changing the rocker cover gasket on my engine. Need some spanners to take the fuel rail off. We've got none, so.
There you go.
Brilliant, thank you ever so much. Okay, we've got the spanners, let's go pay. Thank God for that. I make just that one, please.
Buddy.
$69.99.
Got trade card as well.
That takes you down to, I think what damage is, $48.99. That's not a bad saving.
That's really good.
Well, good luck for it, my man. Hopefully it goes well for you.
No, it's not too bad to be fair. I've been doing it for half a year and I'm already up to 600 subs. So.
What's your channel?
It's Sam Bryan.
Oh, that's it, is it?
Yeah, literally just Sam Bryan. Awesome. What a guy. The guy who literally just bought these spanners off at a desk in Holford and just subscribed to me on YouTube. Absolute legend if you're watching this. This is the wrong side. I'm in your car. So now we're back from Holford. We need a 14mm spanner to take, obviously, all of these parts of this fuel rail off, which Joe is kindly going to give to me right now. Now we've just removed all of the little electrical connectors that are along all the injectors. We need to pull off this clip here on the, I think what's the injector line, I'm guessing, and pull the hose back. That's the next job. Okay, quick update. We've taken the fuel pump out and the fuel rail's disconnected. I think next we've got to remove all of these wires, and then we should be able to take the rocker cover off, finally. So that's all the wires and everything disconnected now. It's time to take off every single bolt that holds on the rocker cover, and then it will be off and we can change the gasket. This is, what, 2 hours at this so far. It's going to go dark in about 2 hours, so we're doing good for time. Well, I have made a second big mistake, and this time it genuinely is a really big mistake. So we got to here on removing the rocker cover. All the bolts and everything are done, except I snapped, I think it's a PCV valve or the pipe. Trying to pull it off and it just snapped in half. And yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do about that. But I'm going to change the gasket on this rocker cover. I feel absolutely deflated. Right now, I genuinely want to give up, but I've got to get this gasket changed, so we're just going to crack on with that. Yeah. Well, we're going to have to leave it there. Let me explain why. So obviously that hose back there is broke. Not only that, we've dropped the spanner through onto the under tray, and we've managed to round off this bolt right here. I don't think it's the bolt we've rounded off. Well, I'm hoping it's the bolt, but I'm almost certain that we've rounded off the block of the engine, which, honestly, I'm tired. It's pitch black out here now. It's gone 9 PM. I give up for today. I give up this week. We're gonna have to come back and sort this out another time. But yeah, I've got no car now for a while, so that's a bit of a bummer. Luckily, I've still got the Corsa. I can insure that and drive that around. But for now, this is stuck as it is right here. It has now been 2 weeks since my car has been on the road, and it's been an absolute headache trying to sort the engine out. But I can guarantee you today, that headache is going to end. Yep, that's right. My car hasn't been started or driven for almost 2 weeks now. After completely failing to change the rocker cover gasket a couple weeks ago, my car's just been sat there collecting dust. I mean, just look at her, she looks really sorry for herself at the moment. But my goal over the past couple of weeks was to get her started and back on the road again, and also add a couple modifications along the way. As many of you would have seen in the previous video, we attempted to change the rocker cover gasket on my car, and let's just say, well, it smells a little bit like petrol, and we ended up failing quite bad at trying to basically change it. We made a few really big mistakes. So amongst all those problems, we also dropped a spanner through the engine down onto the under tray, and that's gonna be the first thing we tackle today. So I say let's just crack on. We take that under tray off. It's a couple bolts holding it on from underneath the car, and then it should just drop off and give us our spanner back. Luckily, we didn't even need to drop the whole under tray off. We just took all the front ones out and then some out of the side, and we could just pry it down enough to be able to grab the spanner, which was quite lucky actually. Right then, my cheesers, we got that spanner out. Really lovely, quick and easy job. Let's get back to basically having the camshafts exposed by removing all of this again. So it's the same as last time out. We took off the positive connector, the engine cover, all of the fuel rail, all of the coil packs, all of the coils, everything over there. and then we can actually take off the rocker cover itself. So with the gasket now off the car, we are obviously back at the stage with the camshafts exposed. And I found out we actually snapped the bolt. We didn't round it off, which I kind of hoped we had rounded it off because I could have fixed that a bit easier. But it's not the end of the world because there obviously is like another 20 bolts holding this on, so it should hopefully not leak oil. Especially when BMW put their engines at an angle, all the oil, as you can see, is kind of just sat on the bottom camshaft. So it shouldn't affect engine performance or like oil leaking, hopefully, too much. But this PCV pipe obviously snapped. We know how to get it off, put it that way, and it is so straightforward. It's the easiest £25 mistake. Yeah, honestly, it's a £25 mistake that we could have easily missed if we had just used our brains that little bit more. Let's change this PCV pipe bit, like kind of, because I have had a feel and it does go down under the inlet manifold to here, so that will need to come off. But I don't think we're gonna have to do that today because we are running out of daylight again. It's about 7:30, maybe 7:45 or so. And we're also gonna change this gasket. So let's just do all that, shall we? This was a £25 mistake which cost me so much in the end in terms of time. Trying to get the PCV pipe off, I ended up pulling it and it just snapped off, but all I really needed to do was just take a flathead screwdriver and just almost tip it off from the valve. So easy, and now I kind of look a little bit of a fool for not even trying it this way. Next up, we changed the fuel pump gasket sitting on top of the rocker cover. And lastly, we put the rocker cover back into place, making sure to torque down every single bolt except for the one that snapped right at the very front of the engine. That is actually the rocker cover gasket fully changed and torqued back up now, which is a pretty big milestone actually, considering where we were last week with obviously everything kind of in a mess and we were in such a bad state. Where we're at now is really good. We've now got the gasket for the fuel one to change quickly or just put on, and then we will bolt that back down, and then I might try and change the spark plugs because I've got some new ones, but if I can't pull them out, I'm fine to stick with the old ones. So now we're back on with the HT leads for each spark plug, all the fuel rail, the fuel pump, everything that sat basically on top of the rocker cover was back on. GoPro is about to die, so if the quality is not as good, it might be because it's on my phone. So we've got all the lines for the fuel rail on, all the way back to here. All of the coil packs are back in, all plugged down, all electrical cables are on, that one there, and then those down there. Everything pretty much I know can be torqued up is now torqued up. It's time to get that bad boy back on top of the engine. The engine cover just slid straight back over the top and was held on by 3 bolts, 2 at the front, 1 at the back. That is so much progress made in one day. I am over the moon with that. We managed to do all of this in 2 hours, and last week it took us 5 hours to basically get nowhere, just take it all apart. So for 2 hours work this week and to be able to get to where I'm at, I am so pleased. I'm so proud of ourselves. But tomorrow it's time to take that intake manifold off and attempt to change that PCV pipe, and then we'll try and start the car for the first time and possibly get it out on the road the next day. It's now a new day, but before we even crack on with obviously removing the intake manifold and everything, look how dusty the car is getting from just sitting here for the past almost 2 weeks. But I think we're gonna try and get it started tonight, but we've got quite a lot of work to do first. So let's just get everything removed so we can change that pipe that is obviously snapped, and then and only then can we try and properly start the car for the first time. I'm so nervous, but just like last week, if we just stick to it and just keep on that, or just keep at it, we will get this done. First things first then, we're going to want to take off all of the air systems, so the airbox, this cover here, MAF sensor, like this hose clamp, basically remove all of that. But I'm not gonna like really show you how to do it, it's just gonna be in the time lapse because I have done that before. I'll leave a link to the video up here for where I've done that. And then we're gonna take off the engine cover, which we've done so many times recently. And then once we do all that, we can start work properly on removing the intake manifold. So as just mentioned, the first things out was the airbox, the cover from the radiator which just feeds cold air, and then the pipe which feeds the air from the airbox into the throttle body. So 5 minutes later, we are out with the airbox and obviously this bit of trim here. We've taken off the pipe that leads into where the throttle body is. It's now time to take out all of these electrical connectors, disconnect this. I think that's the low pressure fuel pump bit, or it deals like the low pressure of like the fuel, I think. And then we can start proper access on what's down here. This can also be moved out of the way as well. And I think maybe I could disconnect this. I can move that out of the way. Unfortunately, I don't have an 18E female torque piece, but if I did, I would take off this piece of trim up here and then I'll be able to remove this strut bar. But unfortunately, as I don't have the correct piece, I can't do that. So if you're doing this, definitely remove this strut bar because it just gives you a little bit more access to basically everything you're about to remove. First thing I disconnected was the low pressure fuel pump, and then I took apart the wires that just basically sat across the top of the engine for a bit more room, followed by every single electrical connector around the intake manifold and then all of the bolts that held it down. As before everything was disconnected, we tried to take the intake manifold out, not realising it was still held down by the EGR. Right, Joe's back and he's just started up his own detailing company. I'll leave some links to it down in the description below. But right now we're currently stumped on, well, basically we've taken everything off of the manifold. It's loose, but somewhere down the back here, there's basically like a plate that's bolting the manifold onto the side of the engine block. And it's the only thing we've got left to remove, but we can't reach it. So it's preventing us from taking it out and obviously then being able to change this pipe. But yeah, we're just gonna have to try and work this out because we're stumped, like I said.
A few moments later.
We've done it. We've done it. We've got it off. We've got it off. It was a little bit of a fiddle, but we managed to get basically a wrench with a bunch of extensions all the way down onto the bolts down here, cracked them loose, and then finished it off with fingers. But now we should be able to lift up the inlet manifold. I think there's maybe a couple more things underneath that's holding it on. But once we've lifted it up and taken it off, we can then take off this adapter plate, change it over, and then pair everything back together and start the car for the first time in almost 2 weeks. I'm so excited. Joe, are you excited?
I'm very excited.
This is going to be absolutely gas. Come on. So we've basically got it to the point now where the manifold is loose, but it's not coming out and it's getting really, really tight. And we just can't get it out. But we have got, fingers crossed, a solution to this. Joe's dad is a mechanic and he's said he's going to come down and help us get it off. But what's the time? It's like 8:30, isn't it? Yeah, it's 8:30 right now. Got basically an hour left of daylight. I don't think we're going to be able to get it all done today, which is unfortunate because I was really wanting to get my car back on, well, started tonight. But I am feeling really positive that tomorrow will definitely be the day where we get this back started and running again. It's just a little unfortunate that we got to this part right now, or we got this far in, we can't really finish the job, you know, but it's a lesson learned, obviously. So hopefully Joe's dad comes and we'll get the manifold off completely. All right, I look like a Sims character, but thanks to Joe's dad, we've managed to take off the inlet manifold now. And well, as you can tell, it's pitch black out here, but we've covered the inlet manifold up with a bit of tape and we'll come back to this tomorrow. But we will definitely, I'm not going to say definitely, we'll hopefully get the car running. Catch back in with you tomorrow.
The next day.
Day 3, we're back at this again and a proper look at the aftermath of last night's job. It's a mess. We've got the inlet ducts covered up here, put the fuel pit down there covered up like this, but we're going to take off this strut bar as that was preventing us from getting the inlet manifold out properly last night. So there's an 18E just under that cover there, and that one's a 14E, and we should be able to take that bar out, and then we should hopefully be able to drop that back in with the new pipe on. Let's get to work. It's also like 4 o'clock, so we've actually started earlier today. We can get this done, we have faith. First job of the day was to take out the right strut bar. Like I said, it was just the 18E and the 14E and it slid straight out. There, really quick, easy job to get that strut bar out. But now, this is the whole reason as to why we've done it, obviously, that snap pipe. So this plate here, it's gonna be 3, maybe T20s or T27s or 25s, I'm not sure which ones. Take those 3 off, that plate will come off. and then we'll be replacing it with this one right there. There's a couple gaskets as well that we need to transfer over, so we'll be doing that now. Next, we changed the broken PCV pipe to the brand new one that we got, and also put the EGR back on. Then afterwards, we're able to drop the intake manifold back into position, make sure to connect that little PCV cable underneath the manifold. So we're making really good progress now. Intake manifold is back into position. We've got the CCV or the PCV clipped back in underneath. It's now time to put the 5 bolts on top. These 2 down here, then there's 2 over there which hold the, I can't remember what the pipe's called actually, but holds that pipe on. There's a gasket to go on that as well. That's connecting everything back up. And then the airbox. All 7 bolts to hold the intake manifold down went back in and got torqued up really easily. I was then able to connect all the electrical cables back on until we hit this brick wall known as an EGR. And this is where the pain began. The EGR pipe, which is made pretty much of just solid metal, would not bend into place. We tried getting the bolts in, they were just going in at horrible angles. I had a go, Joe had a go, my dad had a go, everybody had a go at this, and it just was not going in. It was the last thing we needed to do to put the whole car back together. It was just stopping us.
3 days later.
It's now a new week. It's Tuesday? It's Tuesday. We've been at this obviously now since Wednesday last week, and my car literally hasn't been on the road since Thursday 2 weeks ago now. And what really stopped us on Friday was the EGR. It's somewhere down the back, just down there. It's really difficult to see, but we could not get the EGR in, and it's just down such a tight hole. It's so annoying to get to, but we're not stopping till we get that in today. Right, let's just get this done. Just like before, we were at the EGR for a long time. We tried so many different extensions, different angles. The bolts just couldn't go in straight, and the pipe would just not move into position to allow the bolts to go in straight, basically. We got to the point where I just gave up pretty much. So we are still stuck with the EGR. It just won't go in straight. The bolts are basically going at an angle like this, and it's just not going very well. But this car is not just an engine rebuild car, as many of you would have known from my previous videos. You'll know that this is my personal car that I am modifying. And at the moment we're running this horrible stock rear bumper, and you would have known the situation where obviously we had the white bumper and we got quoted £360 to get it resprayed. Well, in the very messy garage at the moment, we've got the white bumper and a black front and rear bumper to go into the car once obviously we've put all of this back together. But we're going to do it now instead. Whoa, we were literally just about to do the bumper, but we got a quick update. Joe's dad, who is a mechanic, is going to come down in a little bit and do the EGR for us. Thank God. Let's go. Come on. I've never fitted or taken off a bumper before, but by looking at this rear one, looks like we have some bolts which are on the under tray, some down the inside of the wheel arch, one at the bottom down there. And then after that, it looks like it's all just clips pretty much the rest of the way around. Hopefully we don't snap the other one. Let's get this one on. First of all, we took the rear left wheel off so that we could get a bit more access to the inside of the arch, and also Joe offered to paint my brake caliper. Once the wheel was off, we managed to get all the bolts out for the rear bumper, and it just came off really easy after that because it was just held on by clips. And then the M Sport bumper just clipped back into position. We put all the bolts in, and then we also took off the rear tow hook as well. And then finally we put the rear diffuser on to complete the look. Alright, update. So the rear bumper is basically on. We've just got to cut all these zip ties which is holding the what's it called on? The tow hook, because it's the electrical bit. Cut them off, get the diffuser on, bolt all together, bosh, done. Joe over here has done that caliper. It looks excellent. That done. And then the main important part, the engine. Well, the inlet manifold's on the floor, and we're back to square one basically. And the reason why is the ECG down here, as you can see that plate just there, the threads are rounded on there unfortunately, because it just wouldn't go in straight. It kept going at an angle, and the bolts, well, the bolts look like this. Just, yeah, it's not very good. So we're going to order some new inlet manifold ports, like the rubber ones, and then we're going to change them, or the O-ring should I say, for the ports. We're going to change them whilst it's off the car, as I think that's probably a good idea. And then we're going to try and re-tap those holes, put a new bolt in, make sure it all goes through okay, because they're not blind, they're through holes, which is perfect. And then chuck it all back together, hopefully, but that is the plan. But as that's not a today job, let's finish off this rear bumper. So, rear bumper, fully on, bolted in, everything. Looks fantastic. Just need to clean up all of the marks that have been left on it and everything like that. But Joe and his mate will be detailing my car for me, which is excellent. We've also got full M Sport interior trim, which is also awesome because, like I said, I want to turn this into an M Sport car. And, well, you got to do it the right way. Am I right or am I wrong? And then last of all, the front bumper, which we have got, as I previously mentioned, that I want to install next, actually. So let's get that in. Front bumper is the exact same as the rear. There's just bolts in the arch liner. There's a few at the top, and obviously all the ones where the undertray sits on the bottom. Now I would have taken it off, but I encountered something that swayed my mind massively to decide to keep it on. Change of plan then. This front bumper I picked up is pre-facelifted, and you can tell that by the shape of the grille here and then the 3 holes along the top here. Whereas my car is a facelifted version, you can tell it's a curved finish here on the grille and there's only a few bolt holes along the top. But the reason why I'm not going to put this on and end up selling another bumper is there's no part along the top here for the seal that you get here on obviously the facelifted version, and that obviously creates a seal along the front of the bonnet when it's closed, and the fact that the facelifted version does not have that is the reason why I'm not going to put it on, which is slightly unfortunate. But we're going to go out and pick up a facelifted bumper to obviously fix that issue, but I'm not too fussed about that because I got these bumpers for relatively cheap as well, so we can obviously just chuck that one back up for sale like we have with these 2 bumpers in the garage now, but it's alright. It's now time to fix the problem with the EGR, which is obviously those strip threads, as I've now got my tap and my tap wrench, so we're gonna just run the tap back through and hopefully fix these threads. Tap wrench. That's now good to go, and we've also got some new bolts as well to replace the old ones, as they are now obviously, well, they're a bit mangled and not good to use. To gain access back onto that EGR plate, I had to take all of the covers off the top of the engine yet again, and once they were removed, the plate was exposed. All I needed to do then was just run my tap back through the 2 holes, which with the tap wrench was quite easy. After that, I made sure the new bolts went through. Once we'd done this, we put the inlet manifold back in along with the PCV. It finally felt like we were starting to make proper progress. We might have fixed the thing that we've been at for a week now. So the EGR that was just not going in and would not basically allow us to put the car back together, we've put a tap back through the holes, we've re-threaded them, and we did it a different way this time. So we bolted the EGR onto like the pipe that comes up from the exhaust first, and like we kind of did it loose, and then the little pipe that had to sit into the inlet manifold, we somehow managed to maneuver that into the inlet manifold, and it all just dropped into place. And now we are so close to getting my engine back together. I cannot wait, but we can't get too ahead of ourselves at the moment because it still might go wrong, but we're on a good road right now. Let's keep this going. And now it was time to put everything else back on. Every single electrical connector, fuel rail, airbox, engine cover, absolutely everything went back in. The engine is now back together. Oh, this is what 2 weeks has led up to. I am so nervous. If this goes wrong, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but Joe, you ready? Are you ready? Yeah, I'm ready too. Oh my God, okay. let's do this, let's do this. This was it then. The moment the last 2 weeks has been building up to. Seeing if my car even starts and runs for the first time. I was so stressed, dreading that the worst could happen. And to my luck, it did. Oh my God. I'm scared, man. Are you scared?
Yes, very much so.
You're scared? I'm scared. Right, I'm gonna start the ignition. Does that sound okay? Right, I'm gonna warn like say my door's open. Let me just. Come on. Come on, just do it. Just send it. Just send it. Right. Come on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That did not sound good. I turned it off. That did not sound good. Oh, that didn't sound good. Oh, well, that did not run good at all, really. And yet again, I have this horrible draining feeling that it's just never gonna get fixed and it's just gonna stay this horrible bad way. I don't know. I don't know. I want to give up, but I don't, because I really want to get this fixed. But yeah, it's about to go dark again out here. I'm gonna just put all the trims back again so no water can get into the engine, but I don't know. I don't know. So I've got a plan, and I'm going to plug an OBD into the car and see if I get any warnings or anything wrong with the car or the engine, basically. And if there is, try and sort out and see what happens
the next day.
So unfortunately, my car is still not running. It's not on the road. It's not where I want it to be, but I've got a solution. And well, let's explain it. So me and Joe just plugged in a OBD reader type thing into the car to see if there's any fault codes come up, and nothing came up except a usual couple that are there like before I even took the car apart and tried to do anything to it. So that's kind of left me in a bit of a pickle. I don't really know what the issue is and I don't really know what to do. So as this is now almost beyond my limits and beyond what I can actually do, I've got the car booked in to be fixed next week on Thursday. Hopefully the guys down at the shop will be able to just fix everything. They said they'll be able to get it back to me on Friday, so the day after, which is only a day of labour, but I can imagine this is going to cost an extortionate amount of money. But this is what happens when you tamper with cars. You don't really know what you're doing. It's the risk that I was willing to take, and I took it. It's backfired a little bit. Before my car goes down to the body shop in a few days, Joe is here to detail my car. His detailing company is Steam Train Detailing. I'll leave the links to all of their websites, all of their social medias down below. But for now, Joe's here. He's going to clean my car inside and out. If you guys need anything, like I said, links in the description. But let's just get moving this week. Let's get the car detailed. What a difference a simple detailing can make. Massive thank you to Joe at Steam Train Detailing for coming down, obviously cleaning my car. It looks absolutely fantastic now. And if you guys want anything from them, I'll leave all the links down in the description. Their pricing's actually pretty good, so if you want any car detailing, make sure to go give them a look. But any of the Eagle Eye viewers would have seen that my car is actually the other way around. And if you see my previous video, you know it's not starting or even running at the moment. And on top of all of this, it's booked into a garage on Thursday this week to be repaired. It's now Tuesday at the moment this week. Let me show you something. We have a car. Ignore the light here, that's to do with the halo still. It's running. We fixed it properly. I can't believe I did it. I did it with zero experience, zero knowledge on what I'm doing, and I got the car running. What an achievement. I think all I need to do is just be running through properly, and look, I did it and it's absolutely fine. Big thanks to my mum though, she actually had the balls to run it over the weekend. I didn't because I thought it was going to blow up. But as that's not the issue for this week's video, These M Sport interior trims that I've got on the back of the car are actually my goal today. Not only are they the door trims, they're also what is here and also up here on the center console, which is going to require all of this come out. But it's not actually as difficult as it may sound. But before we attempt to take the center console out, the first thing I'm gonna do is take off all of these door trims and replace them with the new M Sport ones, which are sitting right here in the back. So changing the door handle trims on a BMW E87 1 Series is very simple, but you must know that on the facelifted versions, every handle for all 4 doors is the same length, but on the pre-facelift, I believe the rear ones are shorter than the front, if I'm correct. And as mine is a facelifted version, all 4 are the same length, which is pretty good. And as I was saying, they're really easy to come off. You just pull from the bottom and comes out like that. There's like almost like a little tab just there you can pull from. You can wrap your finger around it and pull it off, and they come off really straightforward. As these handles are just held on by clips, there are these little metal bits just here. They're really easy to pull off. What you want to do is pull this tab here on the back, and it flies off like that. It's flown into the back footwell, and they're really easy to change over. You see this little square end here, that bit does not sit over this, it's the round end that sits over the clip on here. All you do is you just push it over and boom, it sits right on like that. You do it to all of the pins, I believe all of them bar one, I think, which is the middle one here, but all the others have these clips on. It will be sat on the door as well like this. If you take it off, some may stay on, but what I would recommend is taking all of these clips off, which come off relatively easy. Put them onto the handle first and then put the handle onto the door. Another thing to note before putting this back on is at the top here there's like a little clip that sits up. That will need to sit up inside of here. I think if you put it in first and then, or possibly, I can't remember how you're meant to do it, but I think if you put it on, it should sit up in that slot up there. And then this should, all those clips should basically sit into place. And just like that, one M Sport door handle installed on my side of the car. Compared to the horrible job I did with this looks 10 times better. This can now go in the bin. I've got some lovely cold to the touch aluminium door handles. Nice. Let's do the other 3. Well, there we go, all 4 trims done. That was really easy and they look fantastic. I'm really happy with these. Matching up, we've got the door handle now. What should I say, like the door opener, because it's also the closing handle. Both handles, but no, that looks fantastic. We just need the rest of the trims done now, so we need this long piece, which we have also got, obviously, and we have the rest of the trims to just chuck in here, but that's gonna be a bit more of a job because obviously the center console has to come out. So next up, we're going to put in this nice M Sport piece that goes along the dash right here. Mine looks awful when I painted it. It's really rough. Some pieces a bit, like some bits of it are really smooth, but you can see all the scratch lines. The paint looks horrendous. And the first thing we're going to do is grab a trim removal tool, because I think it'll be easier to use that on it than just lifting it up with fingers. I've got my tool, and all I'm going to do is basically pry it up, because it's on like these sort of clips here. There's like a little metal pin there, which will sit over this little red clip, which is basically in the dash. That should not be on here, but it is. But what I'm going to do is just put my tool in under and just pry it up basically, and it will just pop off easily like that. Boom, there we go. Comes off that easily. As you can see, the red bit should stay in there, but they may come out like this. If it does, don't worry, because the little metal bits just slide basically on like that, and then you can just push it back on and it's all good to go. Now, if you take it off and you completely forget which way it goes back on, the easiest way to remember is these little angles here on the end, they'll be pointing outwards, so the angle will be more of like a positive or a larger angle facing outwards. Like I said, that will go in line with where the dash is over here. The angle, like I keep saying, it will go back outwards that way. It can be rather confusing because the basic shape of it is it bulges out on both ends, but obviously with the new one, you just look for where that angle is and then that will just slot on like that. There, we're all transferred over, all of the clips are now on here, and we're just going to basically line it up in position like so, and then push it down on either end first. Once it's in, we can push the middle in, and that is on. Really quick and straightforward to do. If you want to change your interior to this, I actually really do recommend it. It does look really, really nice. But right here, we've got the 3 stages of my interior going on. What we had before, this horrible grey kind of plastic looking stuff, and then this terrible paint job that I did to it, trying to make it look good. I in fact made it probably look worse. And now this lovely metal M Sport ones. It is slightly damaged there, but overall that looks 10/10 and looks so much better than obviously either the plastic or the black in my opinion. But now we're on to the long job of taking the center console out. Now I've never done this before, taking the center console out, but like we do with everything, we go full throttle into it and try my absolute best. So let's crack on and get this center console out and change these trims over, and we'll have the finished look then. First things first, to get this center console out is we're going to open up this little tray up there and take out the little compartment here, because that will be transferred over to the new one when obviously we put that one in. Next, you want to put the gear stick into 4th, 2nd or 6th, whichever one you feel comfortable in, foot on the brake and try and pull this off. So this is not coming off. It is so seized on. That ain't coming off. That's not going absolutely anywhere. So we have to leave that as is. We should be able to get the rest of the center console off around it, but we're just gonna have to work with it. I think the next thing up is some of these bolts down around here, and then there's other bits and bobs, but I'll tell you that along the way. So the next thing out is these clips right here. It's basically like a little pin in the middle you pull out, and then there's like a plunger around it, which you then also pull out. And there's one both sides, and if you don't pull these out, the center console ain't going anywhere. So let's do these first. So both those pins removed. First thing we're going to do is remove that T25 there, and then that one there. So these two T20s out, or 25s, next to these two 10mm nuts, they're next to come out. So with those bolts removed, moving backwards, we're now going to take out this little wiring harness here. I believe it's just if we push in, put that forward, if we push in the 2 clips on the side here and pull backwards, there, boom, that comes out. And I believe that is the wiring harness for this cigarette lighter up here. Now we've got to remove this little cover that's down here. It's quite difficult to get to. I think if I had a flathead screwdriver, I might be able to just pry that off. But that is next, and there's a bolt in there, I believe, to come out as well. Here we go, lovely stuff. Right, that's out, and yeah, there is a bolt in there. I believe that's probably a T20 again. That bolt is now removed. Next is we've got to take this off. Really easy, you see, just like that. And it should pull up, and right, it's a bit more difficult than what I thought it might be, but that should come up and over the handbrake. There we go, he's coming, he's coming. Something like this, and there we go. That zip tie I am going to cut and going to put that back on afterwards, or a new one on. So if you don't do that, you can't get this over, which you need to do. And then we're also going to remove that down there, which looks like another 10mm bolt, 10mm nut again. All of this trim's now removed. If we remove this cap here, really easy. There is meant to be, well, some cars will have a bolt in there, I'm guessing dependent on your spec. I don't have a bolt in there, but that will be the next thing. But as I don't have one, like I said, we're going to take this out, which is very, very snug. If you get a trim removal tool, I can imagine you could probably pry this up. It's going to be very difficult, but that is next out. That was quite tight, but it's off, and these 2 electrical connectors you pull right off. As you can see, that bolt all the way down the bottom, that's the next thing to come out. Last thing to remove is this panel right here, and it should just pop out if I believe. I'm not sure if you know I've got to do it a certain way at all, but let's pry the other end. Yep. Oh yes. Oh, what's it connected to? There we go. That is off. Lovely. Next two things are that bolt there and that bolt there. Now, with everything removed, me and Ashley are going to try and lift this up out of position. I believe if you lift it up from the back, that's nice and loose. And then, oh yeah, those brackets, and then that one as well. Boom, these two brackets come out of just here. And lift it backwards, get in. That worked.
Strength and power.
It's about drive, it's about power.
Oh,
hungry, we devour. Put in the work, put in the hours,
yes.
And take what's ours. Boom, center console removed. Right.
Put the handbrake back on.
Right. So, center console removed. And I know some of you have been screaming at me for putting things down on concrete surfaces and scratching it, but oh well. Next thing we've got to remove is that Torx wire and that Torx there, and then this will allow this to come out, and then we can replace them with these new bits here. There we go then. These M Sport trims are in, they look bloody amazing. I'm really happy with these actually. We're now gonna try and slot this back in and then connect everything back from the, connect everything again from back to front. Boom, center console back in. We've got these two brackets back in as well, and we've got that electrical connector connected back up. Ashton's now just putting these two nuts on at the back, and then I'm also going to do that one down there, and we can start putting this all back together properly. There we go, we've changed the center console trims in like an hour or so. That was really easy. I suggest if you guys want to do it, go do it yourself. Very, very straightforward. Clips and bolts, that's all it is. This is what 2 weeks of hard work has built up to. Wow, the journey we've gone on the last couple of weeks to rebuild the engine in my car and get it back on the road it's incredible. I mean, where I'm at now, I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of Joe and all of you guys that have helped me in the comments. We've made this possible. I love this interior, man. It's so nice. Right, a BMW driver using his indicator. Tell you what as well, this car is driving so smoothly. I don't know if that's a placebo effect or if that is actually how it is, but it just feels different. But a good different, definitely a good different. Open her up. No. What a difference a few weeks can really make. 3 weeks ago, my hopes were all the way down at absolutely nothing. Thinking I was never get this car back on the road again. And yet here I am, done all the work myself, rebuilt the engine, and she's running again. And that just goes to show that if you really want something, you try hard enough, you can pretty much achieve anything. Not only that, but we've also managed to take the center console out, which was a very easy job actually. I never thought I'd even attempt anything like that. And yet again, we did it just fine. Lastly, before we go, I'm not entirely sure what to do next. I'm starting to run out of ideas really. I've done lowering it and getting some brakes. I can't really think of anything else to do. So leave an idea down in the comments. I'll read through every single one of them like I always do. And maybe one of them I'll do to my car. But thank you guys ever so much for watching this week. I really appreciate your support. If you go down and hit that subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. I'll catch you next week on Sunday. Have a fantastic week. I'll see you then. Peace out.